Oh, oh man.
It's not tape
Am I
recording,
so
are you?
Well, I was about to.
No, don't do that.
Well, I'm very happy that I didn't because, wow, if people didn't know my mother before,
They're certainly going to know her now.
they would certainly know you then and now.
Why is that thing hanging from there?
Hanging where?
That orange thing.
That is a counterbalance for
light.
the light, because otherwise that fucking thing would topple over and just kill us both right now. You know how many times I've looked up at that thing when I'm recording and I just go, man, I am so nervous that that thing could just fall in the middle of the recording. Then it would just go dark.
I think I need lipstick. Don't I?
You don't need lipstick.
I don't.
I mean, I don't know. Whoa, chill with that. Chill. Don't be puckering in my microphone. You got the wrong studio for that.
All right. Can't have any fun.
You can have fun. We're having fun right now. What are you talking about? We're already on.
So?
I think you're the first guest that I've ever said we're on and given them fair warning, because usually I just 10 minutes in, but I can't trust you. You'll say some shit and I'll be like, God damn, I gotta edit this. This is gonna be nuts. I can't do this. Mother.
Yes, dear.
Mother dearest, welcome to the studio
Thank you, Nick.
that you helped graciously set up.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of stuff, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out.
Mm-hmm. We broke down the other one.
Yeah,
That was quite a thing.
the Movers was the good move.
That kid is great.
Yeah, the Movers was the good move, because otherwise it would have just been, it would have been far too many problems to have to get people that would, friends of mine, Tyler and Gabe really breaking shit down for me. My God. Yeah.
Would have been me.
Yeah, could you imagine us trying to break this thing down? First off, I was very pleased because John Panetti and I put this together, and we hammered this shit out of this thing to get into place in that little office over in Roslyn. And the funny thing is, everybody thought that office was huge because of the podcast clips. So they'd see the office on screen, and they'd be like, "Oh, office looks sick, like this is that," and they'd come through and they'd be like, "Oh, it's nice, Nick."
Very small.
Like, oh, y'all never saw Harry Potter's room? welcome. We're
You know, the one under the stairs?
yeah, we filmed the cupboard scenes in my Roslyn office. So, no, like the Jeffersons, we moving on up. That's it, right to the top.
Oh, good. I love this place.
I know, I do. I love this. It was,
great.
I'm glad we're not boiling now.
No, Tyler was a liar.
No, he was not a liar. I was stripping on that episode. It was getting bad.
I know.
If I was just a little bit leaner, the camera would have cut to me in the next clip. I would have just been sitting there without a shirt on. But I couldn't do it. I was like, fuck it, I'll just enjoy.
No, it's cold in here now tonight.
Well, it's because I had the window open and everything like that. So, anyway, welcome to the studio. I just said it already, but now I really got to start it fresh. Welcome to the studio. I appreciate Mother for coming down. Yeah. A lot of you guys know my mom because she's been in stories of mine on Instagram, and she's just been...
Yeah, I have to listen to all those episodes to see what you've said about me.
Oh, I've said only good things about my mother.
I was concerned over, like, all I kept thinking of was, what was his name? Bam
Margera?
When he used to
beat the shit out of his dad?
Mother.
Yeah, he used to beat the shit out of his dad and just abuse his mom.
I said, if not even...
No.
No tricks.
No tricks.
Me.
No, there's too much expensive shit in here. We can't be doing tricks and stuff like that in here. We gotta hang out and just drink our mindset. Shouts to Nick Karalakis and Caged. And what are you drinking?
I gotta try that. Element.
Love that. Got you on the sodium.
Watermelon.
The watermelon and the citrus are the two best flavors. Mm-hmm. The mango chili's okay.
I didn't try that yet.
Which one?
Mango chili.
Mango chili's okay.
I like the citrus one.
Mango chili tastes exactly how it sounds. Mango chili. It's so in water, it's kind of like you get a little bite. And then what's the other one? They have chocolate. I don't know how I feel about chocolate.
Chocolate water.
What's the other one?
Chocolate water.
Yeah, I'm already loving this mic stand that I'm able to actually.
It looks good.
Yeah, that I'm able to actually speak and look at you.
It does. It looks good.
Oh, let me see. What else do they have?
See, I spent so much time on hair. Where's Lisa Tuccarello when I need her?
That's your girl.
That's my girl.
Shouts to Lisa.
Shout out to Lisa. But these things, can't we do something about these things when women come on?
No. Why? No, because we used to do no hair.
Ruining my hair, man.
But do you see how bad you sound when you start talking over here?
All right, I'm
wow, see how much better you sound? Get with it, lady.
Okay, I'm right here.
Yeah, get with it.
All right.
I'm gonna do the. Hold on, I'm gonna do the.
What?
Chocolate caramel.
I don't know.
Chocolate salt. Grapefruit salt. Grapefruit would be pretty good. Citrus. I like the citrus. Orange salt. Watermelon. Raw unflavored. All right, so we're just drinking Celtic right there.
Yeah, we're just doing salt.
Raspberry salt.
That could work.
Mango chili.
No.
And then they have a hat at the bottom.
And that's it.
And they have a hat. I did want to start with a little R.I.P. to Kenny from Bev's. Kenny was a good people at Bev's.
Like such a big bear guy.
Yeah,
sweet.
Super nice. I mean, he hit me up recently. He had just started a podcast with his daughter. He asked me for some tips, and I wanted to help him out a little bit, and I gave him some beginner information. And
how old was his daughter? Little?
Couldn't tell you. Kind of private with like that type of stuff, but they did it. I guess not so private where they had things out there, but private enough where you didn't know the full scoop of everything. But it's tough. It's tough when you start seeing people go, and that was actually one of the things I had with you, because you lost a lot of people when you were younger in your generation, especially to drugs in high school and whatnot.
Yes, I did. I
was
thinking about that on the way up.
It's weird.
Isn't that weird that you mentioned that?
Yeah. Well, I actually had it in the notes to ask you about that and see what it was like.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Just a lot. In my high school was 7th grade till 12th grade. So there were a lot of families that you just did not know how old anyone was, because we were all in school together. Yeah. If you didn't have a class with someone, you hung out with them, in the senior lounge. Even though it was a senior lounge, it wasn't only seniors, we were there. And, even in the, the auditorium or at the outside in the schoolyard, even on the bleachers. We used to hang out on the bleachers at night. We had nowhere to go.
Different world compared
totally.
comparatively
we used to just wander around. The amount of walking we did, we used to walk everywhere. Fiorettes. We used to go to the diner, French fries and brown gravy. That's what we lived on. Beside that, we used to walk to West Hempstead. Joanne DiBartolo was the one who really introduced me to all the West Hempstead guys, and you knew a lot of them.
Yep.
Grew up with Charlie.
Richie.
That's how, and my sister met her husband. And there's just so many people are gone. Well, when I was in high school, we lost a lot of them. There was little brothers that passed away from car accidents where they had overdoses of drugs. We had 3 guys one night. That was hard. That was a hard one.
What was the drug of choice back then?
Well, I don't really know what they were doing. The rumor was it was heroin. But everything was available then, and it was all very different. It was just all different. There was a lot of there wasn't a lot of cocaine. It was people would smoke pot and do smoke hash. You don't even hear about hash anymore.
No, I think you hear about hash. I asked Fat D. Fat D's my resident. Fat D's my resident pothead. He's the one that tells me everything pot related, because I'm so out of touch.
Oh man!
I'll never forget when RJ came to my office because he was doing the medicinal marijuana.
Yeah.
And he came for a meeting because we were shooting some videos for his company. And when he came through for the meeting, he just threw an 1/8 of pot on my desk, and I went,
"Okay,
what do I do with that?
Yeah.
Do I smoke it? Like, how do I? I don't. Do I have to grind it up? I don't know anything about this." He's like, "Oh, okay," and he tried to walk me through the steps of how to do it. I'm like,
"You're as bad as I was."
I'm like, it's too much. It's too much work, bro.
Yeah, and I was never a drug person. I was always the responsible friend, so I was the driver. I remember my sister caught me driving. I was 14 or 13. I was driving a bunch of people from a party because I was the only one that wasn't drinking. But they were all drunk. Everybody was drunk but me. And so I got the keys. So, yeah.
So you got to drive,
Jamie.
You got to drive a lot of cars at an underage limit.
Yeah. I learned Bob Morris taught me to drive when I was 13. And he's gone too.
Yep.
Anyway, that one particular night, they had a sleepover party, and 3 guys spent, I don't want to say their names.
No. Yeah.
And 3 guys spent it together. And all I could think about being a mom now, first of all, it was very hard to lose 3 friends. They were much older than me too, but we all hung out together. One of the issues that goes through my mind is the mom. 3 boys, sleepover party. She goes to wake them up. They were all dead. All 3 of them. What goes through your mind? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's bad enough losing your son, and now you got to call the parents. There were a lot of reasons why I'd never allowed you to have sleepover parties.
Yeah, that's also an Italian. It's also an Italian family thing.
Yeah, they wasn't allowed. They could all come by us. You weren't allowed to go there.
Yeah.
And it really was.
It's okay. It worked out for the better.
Listen, I used to tell you all the time, it's not that I don't trust you. It wasn't that. It was really for me. I was a single mom. I had nobody to pivot to say go get him or go check up or whatever. And to me, it was security. To me, I was being very selfish. I used to tell you that all the time. I'm being selfish. This isn't about you. It's about me. If I have you there, I won't sleep. Mm-hmm. I won't sleep. I'll be up all night.
And the few ones that I did have, you didn't sleep.
I didn't sleep.
Yeah. Productive nights.
Productive. Yeah.
I might as well do other things.
Exactly. On top of the fact that I never minded your friends coming, any of them. I mean, I can name a dozen of them, and they were all like my kids.
Yeah.
I loved all your friends, always. They were.
You really didn't have any bad. Like I really.
Nah, they all were. Listen.
You fall out with people just because of just maturing and differences and interest change, and then you pivot into, like, let's say now me with jiu-jitsu, and now I'm getting jiu-jitsu friends and you bodybuilding friends, and I've always had groups and pockets.
You always have.
Yeah.
Because we moved around a lot, so I apologize for that. But
that's okay.
We did move a lot. So you kind of started always, you were kind of dead man out. Every school you went to, everybody had their friends already, and you started the following year. I think you going to Holy Child was a good thing when you went to Holy Child. I liked it there, although I didn't care for the staff. They were, you had to fit into their box. We're not box fitters.
No.
We just don't.
No, I don't do well like that.
I don't either. I never did.
I'm a trailblazer, and by trailblazer I mean I don't need anybody else on my trail. I'm cool with just doing my thing.
Yeah, and everybody should be respectful of that in my eyes. Everybody's different. You don't have to wrangle everybody together where they all have to be the same. It's boring if everyone's the same.
Oh, I mean, you're just an android at that point, and you're just a robot. And
what is that?
That seems to be the societal push as of late. They want drones. They don't want people that are able to think logically and on their own and freely.
Right, I understand, and it's a sad situation. My growing up was just worlds different than your growing up.
Rally behind the nation.
Wow, I mean, we used to get up, go out, do our chores, go out. We had to be home by 6:30. That's when my dad had dinner. My mom had dinner on the table. We had to be home when my dad had dinner. That was it. You had to be home. So we were out all day riding our bikes. We used to ride to Elmont. We used to ride to West Hempstead. We'd ride. I'll never forget Linda and I, who, by the way, I wound up seeing again after 30 years of not seeing her. And it was like her and Debbie, who also has my last name. And we're not related. I actually, it was so good to see the two of them 2 weekends ago. I think it was on a Sunday. I went to meet them. And it's like no time passed.
Yeah.
You know your friends when that happens. Those are real friends. In fact, I took her name as my confirmation name. My confirmation name is Linda because she was my best. She was great. And we were laughing about stuff. It's just going back and remembering the stuff we used to. I go, if my son ever did that stuff, I would have killed him. I would have. Yeah. I mean, we didn't get into trouble. We were there was nothing to do. So you wandered.
Nothing to do, and there were no cameras.
Exactly. We didn't have phones.
Yeah, no. Pay phones and deal with that.
Yeah. They were $0.25, I think. Cigarettes were 55 cents.
55 cents for a pack?
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Yeah. Now they're $15, I think. 14 and change, something like that. Yeah, 55 cents for a pack of cigarettes. And we used to go into the bar. One of our friends, Kevin, his father owned the bar on Hempstead Turnpike. And we used to go in there and go to the machine real fast because he'd go, you're not allowed to, We go, just getting cigarettes, just getting cigarettes. We weren't allowed in the bar. But
what was gas back then?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember my first car, though.
But I could look that up. I'm sure they have historical data of what gas was. What year?
70s. In the 70s. What, 70? I was 13, maybe, I don't know, 75, 4, 5, something like that. Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go.
I mean, just think about it. 13 years old.
1974. What do you think? What do you think it was per gallon?
Oh, I don't even have a clue.
Just give me just a rough guess. National
$1.50?
average gas price.
$1.50, $1.80.
You ready?
2.
Ready?
How much?
53 cents.
Just like cigarettes.
Gas and cigarettes.
Gas
Cheap.
and cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't know how much joints were. I don't know because I never bought them. But they must have been pretty cheap.
Well, you used to get paid in drugs when you worked at the clubs, which we're going to get into in a few.
Yes, I did.
So, then you'd have to barter it off and get paid. So you were a secondhand dealer.
It was the bartender.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to change it out.
Yeah, he had a scale behind the bar.
There you go. Here you go. They just gave me that. And now, give me
no,
my money.
at the end of the night, you got to cash out at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Can't.
Yeah. Give me my money. I don't want this shit.
That was John. I loved him. He was great.
So now we're talking about school and what was it like growing up with Grandma and Grandpa and Angela as your sister?
Well,
because I never had a sibling, only child. Hey now.
Yeah, I know. I always wanted more kids.
Nah.
But
it
didn't work out.
Nah, I wouldn't be good on sharing.
You weren't good at sharing.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
I don't share, Mom.
You weren't good at sharing ever.
No, don't touch my things.
Ever. Remember the lady in the daycare? Yeah.
Yeah, I was. What I do? I took
Sergio.
Yeah, he took my blocks or some shit like that.
Yeah,
don't touch my blocks, man.
No, you were very upset,
Nope.
and you cursed in Italian. Grandpa was so proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
The woman called me up.
Sergio
and said,
touched my shit.
She goes, "Your son has such a temper." She said Sergio wanted to play with him, and he had not having any of it. And then he said something in another language, put his foot down. He was kicking. He was just. Oh, I had put him in the corner. I went, I said, what did he say? And I said it. I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it. I go, what did it sound like this? So she says, yeah. I go, well, I said, yeah, that's Italian. I said, yeah, I said, don't take it personally because I believe it has something to do with your sister's crotch. But just don't take it personally.
Hey, listen,
I don't know if you have a sister.
Everybody could get the smoke. Don't tempt me.
God.
Don't touch my blocks and don't tell me what to do.
And I went home and said to my father, Daddy, Nicholas is cursing in Italian. You were like this big. How old were you? You were like 3? I don't even know. You were so small. God. And I said to my father, I go, stop teaching him. He says to me, I'm not teaching him. I'm not teaching him anything. I go, well, he said this, and I said it. And he goes, oh, yeah? He said it good then.
I said it with the whole dialect and everything.
Oh, God, it was too much.
Well, that also just goes to show you that as Italians, the fiery rage is just built into the bones.
It is.
It's coded right in.
It is.
And it comes out, and we just have to have that grandparent to just give us the programming of like, hey, it's there. Just this maybe is what you want to say when you start getting that rage. Yeah. Thanks, Grandpa.
Well, I'm a single parent, as you know. Since
we were going to what it was like in family.
Well, family, my parents with me, not having you
Grandma,
yet.
Grandpa, Angela. Back then, what was it like?
I went out a lot. I went and stayed at my friends' houses, and I was out a lot. And my sister was always very artistic. So artistic, not autistic.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God.
Artistic.
God, why'd you pause like that?
Artistic.
What's up with you?
And she's very creative. So I had a lot of fun with Ange. We used to have drawing contests. She was very much into bird watching. So we'd go watch birds.
Bird watching, wow.
Yeah, we'd figure out which birds were which.
You were wild in the 70s.
We were little. Listen, my parents were workers.
Yeah.
So my mom always worked. She was a lunch lady at the school. We didn't get away with much. She worked at Bosie's. She worked very hard. My mom and my dad worked hard. My father was a jeweler, as you know, and he always worked. He worked in the city first. He worked at Fortunoff's for many, many years in the repair area. But my father just did his job, and he did it well. They loved him, and he, worked hard. Home by 6:30. Yeah. Dinner's on the table. I mean, that's how it was.
Old school.
Yeah, but it was good because it was a routine, and everybody, I don't know.
Everybody played their part is what I think you're looking to say.
Yeah. Yeah. My sister and I would watch TV together. We would have fun. We'd drive my mother crazy rolling marbles in a bowl. We used to have a metal bowl, and we used to roll the marbles in there. My mother used to go crazy. We had something called the Cyclo Teacher, which was my favorite. There was this big learning thing that you put like a wheel, and you put this thing in, and it asks you questions, and then you have to pick the answer. I used to have fun with that. We used to test each other. There was a lot of stuff to do, you know?
Yeah.
My sister was into Barbie dolls. I didn't do the Barbie doll thing. I actually liked Matchbox cars.
Yeah, you were the tomboy.
I always liked cars. I just like them. They're pretty.
They're pretty.
They are. They're pretty.
Well, it depends on which one.
Right. I like my pink
Toyota
Cadillac.
Celica is not pretty.
The little pink Cadillac was very cool. I wonder if I still have that. I might.
The Mary Kay car.
No, it wasn't Mary Kay back then. It was like a Barbie thing.
Oh, okay.
Barbie was always pink, as the movies showed that just came out, which I won't even go to see. But that's another whole subject. So anyway, my parents were always really good. My mom was the one with the rules and the regulations. My father never hit us. Never. He'd get mad and he would chase us around and hit the furniture with his belt. That was it.
Threaten.
My mother, however, you had to watch.
Yeah, she's got...
Because she would fling stuff.
She get a heel, that's it. It's over.
High heels.
Yeah.
Boink. Right in your head.
Yeah, but it made you walk a straight line.
Well, she was usually on the phone when we would act up. You ask her. Ask Nana. Yeah. We would start acting up when she was on the phone. And then it was, you know, she'd get annoyed
and so now coming coming from that type of a parenting, and then obviously you weren't ever nasty with me, but you put me in line when I would step out.
I want to tell you something.
Now thinking about the softer parenting that's going on nowadays, you've seen a blend.
My parents were not strict. They weren't. My parents were strict, but they weren't strict. They were more strict with Angela, and Angela used to listen. I didn't listen. And of course, now that you're 32, I can say that to you.
Wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
because I would never tell you that when you were younger. But I didn't listen. Like my mother would say, you have to be home at da-da-da. And I would go, okay, well, you know. We didn't have phones. So somehow I was a little later, you know. But, you know, you talk about, we were on the subject of losing friends. And that has been sort of like a little pattern throughout. I guess.
Well, I'm sure anybody listening is going to say the same. There's been a pattern.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It is that you lose people, but I will tell you, sometimes it was better for them. Sometimes it just was.
Yeah, if they had an addiction or whatnot,
no, even just
releasing
sick.
them type of situation.
Just sick. Some people were sick. I remember one of the guys that we went to high school with. He had an aneurysm, and everybody was so shocked. But
young to have an aneurysm.
Yeah, he was a football player or something. And everybody was so, like, taken aback by it. But when it came down to it, he would have suffered had he lived. It was that kind of thing. So sometimes, listen, when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta keep going.
Yeah, you just gotta enjoy every single day and get the most out of it and have fun.
Right. And you can say that, but it's not easy to do.
It's not. No.
You know, it really isn't. But what I was going to say to you was, I didn't come from a very strict home. I came from rules, and my parents were very tolerant.
Okay.
As long as they knew what I was doing and what was going on. There was quite a few times, I mean, my sister will always joke and say, you know, Dad would always say, you know, my nickname was, Karen, what the hell is going on? Like, that's what,
yeah.
Because my friends would cause turmoil, and I would be in the middle of it, either helping or trying to figure it out or covering for them or whatever. So just...
That's crazy because...
that's why I was very strict with you, by the way.
That's what I was about to say. How...
I was very
when
strict
was when was my curfew? How...
I think until you were, what was it, when you were 25, 24, it was still 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Only if you had somewhere to go. Only if you were at a party or something.
Which I really wasn't at.
Right, but...
I was either working or
but
going
there was
to the
no
gym.
wandering.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to wander. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Is that it? Give a tip to the youngins. Give a tip.
Really, there's nothing good that happens after midnight. There really isn't. There isn't. You could have just as much fun in the afternoon as you can at night. Of course, you don't see all of it.
Oh, chill. Afternoon delight. All right.
I didn't mean that.
Oh, well, I was listening.
And we're talking about young kids.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, they're getting younger doing that, so whatever. But, yeah, I was very strict with you. And the reason was because I was witness to so much.
To the atrocities when you're not.
Yes. Yep.
It's tough. It's tough being a parent. It's tough being a dog owner. You know, you just want to.
Where is he?
He's right next to me. It's just, you know, you never know if you're making the right choice that's going to benefit. Sometimes you have to just go with sometimes you have to go with the lesser of some, you know, two evils, but you have to be able to make the decisions of what's going to benefit my child, I would assume.
Yes.
But that's what I do with the dog.
But it's also the same, like I always drove you and your friends where they had to go. The one time, which I'm not going to get into the details, the one time I didn't and I was sick, you went to the Broadway Mall. Do you remember that? With some movies.
That when I broke my hand? No.
No.
What, we get into a fight there?
No. The other parent came to pick you up, was intoxicated.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
The one time.
That's right. I forgot about that.
The one time.
Swerving.
I'll never forget that. Yeah. The one time I didn't do it.
Yep.
I was sick, but I got up.
Yeah, when you hear some shit like that, it's tough.
Yes. So,
and that goes back to, you know, not allowing sleepovers, not allowing me to stay at certain people's houses because, you know how you run your house.
Yes.
And you run it tight and you make sure that everybody's good, even when you have visitors over and other places.
The only thing
other places are like the fucking Roman Coliseum. That was Kathleen's house. The Roman Coliseum. Yeah. Go ahead, say it.
When we lost you.
Yeah. Couldn't find me for hours.
That was so bad.
Slept over there. Couldn't find me for hours. Where's Nick? Couldn't find
what happened was...
She's like, Nick's here? The next morning? You
That's
called.
That's what I called. So we went to the party. You used to get a little, like, freaked out after a while because there was so many kids. There was a lot of kids. And you was used to doing your own thing. And you were used to being alone. She knows the story. I hope she listens to this because Kathleen... That was a night boy. So the wind-up is, this was up in Huntington Harbor. I was living in...
I think it was 110. It was Melville.
Yeah, it was. Melville.
About that time. So
anyway, you say to me, Mom, they asked me to stay. Could I stay? And I'm like, but it's Kathleen. You know, so I'm saying to myself, you know, they're like your cousins, you know. And I love the whole family. So I said, Kaz, is it all right? She goes, oh, yeah, it's fine. Well, look, everybody's here. She goes, it's fine. I go, okay. So I'm driving home. It must have been like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving home, and I'm going, oh, I'm not going to sleep. I know I'm not going to sleep. I got home, got in bed, laying there.
I need you to elevate that voice, Karen. You're whispering in everything you're saying.
Okay,
you got to bring that volume up.
I go home. I get up in the next morning, and I call, and Kathleen answers, and I go, hey, Kat, how'd everything go? Are the kids good? She goes, yeah, everybody's fine. I said, okay, I'm going to be up in a little while. I'm going to come up. I said, is Nick there? And she says, just like this, she goes, Nick? And silence. And I say, Kat, Nick stayed with you last night. So she goes, oh, well, we'll find him. I go, wait a second. You'll find him? I said, when was the last time you saw him? So she goes, oh, I'm sure he's here. And now I hear her. She's yelling down to the basement where all the boys were.
How many kids did she have, just to give context?
At that point, I don't think Paige was here. No. So.
Dawson, Connor.
Yeah.
Mike,
5.
Eddie,
No, 6.
Riley. 6.
6.
And then they had other friends there, too.
And other people were there, yeah.
That's a fucking Brady bunch.
I love them, though. They're the best.
Of course.
The best. Anyway, so I'm already getting my clothes on. I got like one foot in my jeans. I'm trying to get my clothes on as I'm getting dressed. I'm going, Kathleen, please find him. And she's yelling, Nicky. She's screaming all over the house. Do you know where he is? No. Nobody knows where he is. I'm now in a total panic. So now
you're thinking of that drop that they had off the back of their house.
Well, we lived on a cliff.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh my God, did you? She goes, well, they were playing hide and seek. That's all she had to say. They were playing hide and seek. Like, oh my God, he's in the ditch. I'm flipping out. I'm driving up there like a lunatic. You know there? You know where you are. Do you know?
I think so, yeah.
You with the girls.
Yeah.
He was in Riley's room.
It was quiet in there.
Yes, that's what you said.
Too fucking loud.
You were sleeping on the floor right next to the bed.
Yeah, too loud. Nah, it's too much. Nah, I like my privacy. I like my quiet.
3 floors?
Yeah, 3 floors and then the basement. No, it was 2 floors and the basement.
2 floors in the basement. And
Yeah.
you were on the 2nd floor, so who heard?
Yeah. I was out.
My heart stopped. But then when I found out where you were, I went, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, single parent woes. Single parent woes. Let's back it up. Let's go to jobs, because you've had quite a few, especially back in the day. So when you started the ability to work, where'd you start? Like, what did you start doing just to get your feet wet and get some career experience? We're talking like, I want to hear first jobs, because I know Angelo used to work at White Castle.
My sister worked at White Castle and stunk of onions all the time. That smell. And, well, my first job was at Pat's Farms, which was the produce place on Hempstead Turnpike. And I used to get into stuff with the father, the little old man who was an Italian guy. He used to curse at me in Italian. He used to scream at me because...
You're just getting it from all angles. You're getting it from
because...
over there. Years later, you're getting it from your son. Getting it from everybody.
Everybody cursed in Italian to me.
Like, where am I, Sicily? Jesus.
I used to be at the cashier. And people would come up with, there was like 14 different kinds of apples. I was 14. And I would ring them all up the same. And he'd be screaming at me, they're different. I'd go, they're apples. I think I lasted a month at that job, to be honest. Yeah. But my favorite first job was I worked at a shoe store, which was not like a regular shoe store. It was like a upscale kind of a thing.
Oh, pinky's out. Fancy.
Yeah, it was fancy. And it was called Heart and Soul. And the 2 guys that owned the place were major hippies, hair down to here. I mean, they were like real hippies. And one of the guys' wives, actually, she was a writer for Penthouse.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so they were an interesting group. Me and Joanne walked in there, my best friend at the time. We walked in that store. We were like, wow, goody two-shoes. They had like 4-inch fronts on them, wood. They were wood bottoms and like 6-7 inches in the back. And these are the shoes we used to wear to school. All you heard us was clunking down the hall in high school. Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Like a bunch of Clydesdales in a barn.
Exactly. If you had a class on the 2nd floor, wow, is that a problem?
Yeah.
So,
I'd be the old guy downstairs. Trash, keep it down.
Yeah,
the top of the broom.
Top of the broom. So we walked in there, and Matt, one of the owners, he looked at the 2 of us, and he said, he goes, because we came in looking for a job. So he goes, I only need one of you. So, we looked at each other, and I'm like, I want to work here. So Joanne says, she goes, we'll split it. You come Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll come the other days. I was like...
So we're like one associate.
Right. I was like, okay. And he agreed. So that's what we did. But I was there when she worked because I didn't want to not be around her. And she was there when I worked.
Yeah, so
we were both there every single day. And sometimes they couldn't pay us. So they would let us take shoes.
Wow.
So I had so many pairs of shoes. I wish I would have kept them because they're like arts now.
I'm sure they would go for a little something now.
Oh my gosh, you can't imagine how many pairs of shoes we had. And all the girls from high school used to come in. Yeah, we had a good time. That was a great job. And then next door they had a clothing store with another guy. One of my friends, my old friends, actually worked there. But yeah, we didn't ever get involved with them on that side. But we were the shoe people. So it was right across the street from Klein's, which is now, I think it's National Liquidators.
Ooh,
still.
God.
Yeah.
Old Hempstead.
Yeah. Hempstead had some really cool stores. We had Denny's Depot, which was a head shop, right by, where was that? That was like in the heart of Hempstead. We used to love going to that store. My sister used to buy all this fancy stuff there, like real hippie stuff. We had fun.
Our hippie auntie and sister.
Yes,
our photographer.
Yes, hippies.
Our photo and art design.
Yeah.
And so what else? What else did you do? Like, you didn't stop there?
No, I had so many jobs. I'm trying to think. I mean, after Heart and Soul, I worked as a waitress. Not in the clubs. I was too young still. But when I started
what was it like
dating,
working as a waitress?
Well, I worked in a steak place. Actually, it's Testarossa now.
Oh, really? Right over here?
Yeah.
You drove all the way the fuck over here?
That's what I had to.
Damn.
I know.
From Hempstead to Syosset.
17, yeah, I was 17.
Was Syosset bumping back then? What was it like around?
No.
Wasn't really anything going on.
No, restaurants, stores, same as what it is now. It wasn't really any. But yeah, I worked. It was Steak Loft was the name of it. It was one of the people that own all the other places now. Like what's the stuff on 110? 110.
Not Scotto.
Yeah.
It was them? That was like their first one in the family?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I worked for them way back. They were very nice.
I wouldn't think they wouldn't be.
No. They were very nice, but it was a very small situation at the time. They didn't have all those places.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a while.
Once you start dividing and conquering.
But then I got tired of I just got tired of it. And I worked at a place in Roosevelt Field. Now, Roosevelt Field did not have a second floor. And it was
before they put the blimp in?
It was just one lane. It was just one side. There wasn't a whole second side or upstairs. It was just one thing. And the security was dogs.
Oh, they had actual canines. Oh, shit.
They had dogs. And when we used to do inventory, we used to have to call the guard to get the dogs so we could leave.
Oh, yeah, because otherwise they think you're stealing. And they go on
they
high alert.
were, I'm telling you, they were killer dogs. They were just wild dogs. Yeah.
So now, did that really detract the crime at night?
No, not at all.
They still would steal?
Oh, yeah, because they'd come in the back. We were on a... that was the front. That was like,
So they would just walk around the middle of the store.
Right.
The middle lane.
It wasn't even a middle lane. It was one strip of double stores. Like, we would look at stores.
That's what I'm saying.
To each other,
so
right.
what would be in the middle of you guys?
The dogs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's just like a ravine of dogs and great white sharks. They built a moat.
Yeah.
That probably would have been more effective, a moat.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of that store because I actually just told my sister about that the other day. We were at Roosevelt Field on Sunday, and I said to her...
A lot different than what it was.
What's it called? I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'll think of it.
Yeah, you're going to shout it out in the middle of...
Yeah, I am.
You're like, oh, my God.
I am. So I worked there. I love that. I love that one. That job was fantastic. I had a great time there. But then, school and everything, and I graduated a year early from high school. And
why did you do that?
All my friends were older than me. And most of my friends were older than me. I had some friends that were in my grade, but most of them were a year or two older than me. And my girlfriend, Kathy, she was a year older than me and graduated a year early. So she was already gone. And I was with her class then. So my father was totally against it. I'll never forget it. I was so angry. We had to sit down in front of the principal. And the principal says, well, you're going to miss a really good year because... you're going to go to your prom. And I had already been to everybody's proms.
Fuck that.
I went to proms from the time I was in 7th grade. I went to my sister's prom.
Yeah.
So,
who cares?
When one of her friends, the girlfriend, I don't know, dropped out, they broke up, whatever, I had to go borrow a dress from a friend of mine, Fran, in Elmont, because that morning of the prom, the guy didn't have a date. So my sister asked me, I said, sure, I'll go. Got a gown, off we went. Yeah. It was, that's just the way it was.
An overhyped dance, I'm good on it, bro.
Yeah, and I didn't really care.
Nah, my prom sucked.
And like I said, a lot of my friends were older, and I just wanted out. So I had to take 2 gym classes, which was trying.
That was like me in summer school.
And remember that?
Took 2 gym classes because I just didn't go. Sick.
That was actually good training for you.
It was. That's how I lost all the weight.
And 2 English classes. And one of the classes, Mr. Chabelli, I loved him. He actually knew my sister. She had him for English also. And he said to me, because I hated English class, it was like, really, I got to read all this stuff. And he said, he goes, look, I know you're really good with the artwork. He said, because my sister and I took a lot of art classes. So I said, you know what I'll do? You give me what you want to give me to read. And instead of me writing a report, I'll make a poster. And he said, fine.
You'll make a poster, as in an art project?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I did the whole year. And he had all of my posters up all over the classroom.
Nice.
And I got an A.
Yeah, my teachers would have told me to go scratch.
Well, your teachers, I had a fight with.
Oh God, I couldn't
Hated that guy.
Remember
that guy?
That's one of them. Yeah, the dude that put his hands on me. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah, that went over.
Karen, we could have sued. We could have been millionaires. What's going on with this?
He hurt somebody that
Sure
following year, right?
He's a jerk off. Yeah, he's a jerk off.
Oh my God!
He deserves to get choked out in front of the whole school.
He says to me, "You don't mind if I give your son a present?" I said, "You aren't allowed to talk."
Oh, I remember that. He gave me that awkward. He brought me to the class. It was a resistance band. Did he say he made it?
Yeah,
bro. It says hoist right on the side of it, son.
I was like, yeah. Listen, pal. You're not allowed to talk to my son, especially alone.
For context, for people that are listening, basically the shortened version of that is my buddy and I at the time got to school early. We got dropped off early. We were laughing our ass. I forget what we were laughing about. It was the three of us.
Jay?
Yeah, me and Jay. We were laughing our asses off and just we were just joking around about something. And then one of the security guards came in and she they always busted our chops because we were always the ones in trouble. So she goes, "Hey, you two, what are you doing here so early?" And we start laughing. We're like, "Oh, stop it." Like we're just going, "Stop it." And she's going, "You guys better not cause any problems right now." And we're just like, "Whatever," like we're laughing with her and she's laughing back. And so we go back to our conversation, and I don't remember how it transpired exactly, but I remember he just walked up to the table very cartoon-like and stood there and stared at us. And then Jay and I just turn and look, and I go, "What? Hi, can we help you? What's going on?" And he goes, "You think you're really fucking tough, don't you?" And I go, no, but why are you speaking to me like this, grown human? What the fuck is going on here? And then he's like, I got girls in my 6th grade karate class that could beat the shit out of you. And I went, "Okay, didn't ask. Great, bro." And that's when he grabbed me by my shirt collar. Yeah. And I went,
choking you
and I just went,
hoodie.
Yeah. And I just went, "You're going to have to let go of me before I beat the fuck out of you. I'm just letting you know that. I don't care what you think you know, but you're an old, disheveled, decrepit old man. I will break your hip." It's just not gonna end well for you, man. I don't care how much training you think you have.
Yeah, he was not having it.
He just wasn't. He taught the special ed
and then he
class.
shoved you around, I remember, and that's when the principal.
No, it was only one. It was like that one, and then he walked away. And then Soto started acting up. He broke the window.
Right.
Then everybody was wiling out. They were just. It was an excuse for them to act out. So. And that was really it. But it was just
Principal was great. I loved him.
Yeah, Mr. Murray. Mr. Murray's the homie.
Great.
Mr. Murray was always the homie.
Saw me coming.
Yeah, of course. They always did. And Mr. Senna. They always saw you coming.
Mr. Senna.
Yeah. These are the only people I remember from high school. And Miss Ninavaji, who thought I said poontang in class. That was fucking awesome. What? You stupid asshole. I said, "I want to watch the movie Pootie Tang." And she just goes, "You think you could just say whatever you want in my class? Get the fuck out." I'm like,
I got that phone call.
Okay. And I went down to Mr. Senna's. Mr. Senna was the assistant principal. And I went down to Mr. Senna, and he's like, "Nick, what are you doing here?" And I just went, "I don't know. Ms. Ninavaji thinks I said poontang in her class." And I said, "I want to watch the movie Pootie Tang." And he goes, "Oh, Jesus." He goes, "Nick, just go play handball, go do something, and then be back by the time the period ends because she's going to come down." And I said, "All right, cool." Did it, played handball, came back, and I sat there. I was all sweaty. She was like, "Why are you sweating?" I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I got that phone call.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I just wasn't, you know me, I wasn't a school kid. I didn't like, once again, being told how I should think and perceive the world. And
all you had to do was what they asked you to do.
No, fuck them. Puppet masters. I don't play that game. Leave me alone.
I know. I got a lot of phone calls.
Leave me alone. I want to do what I want to do. And I get that, you have to go through and, do the curriculum and everything and all this bullshit when realistically none of it mattered. None of it mattered.
Well, it does give you a well-rounded...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I've never had to use any of the information that I was presented in high school, especially in today. Never. Maybe, okay, I think the most important was probably English and grammar because it taught me the foundations of how to speak properly, how to write. I still don't, but how to... I speak good and shit. I speak okay and stuff. Yeah, it's I think it gave me the basis for what I needed to know. And I mean, snoring. My God, I would say all the math, hypotenuse, isosceles triangles, dog shit. It's crazy. Never. When have I ever sat there and been like...
Okay, I want to tell you, though,
when have I ever sat there and been like this?
The one thing, though,
that
they have gotten rid of that really they should have kept was kids should know how to write in script.
Why?
Because they should.
Why?
Because you have to have a signature.
Oh yeah, why? From when the revolution starts?
You're such an ass.
Stupid.
You're an ass. You really are.
Oh, what? When Ben hits me up and says the war is on, I got to write back with my quill? Get the hell out of here. Oh, my God. What year did you say you were in high school? That door's that way. Get out of here. Get out.
I like writing in script.
Yeah, you and only you. Nobody else likes writing.
Everybody does.
No, they don't.
They don't know.
It's like trying to read hieroglyphs in an Egyptian pyramid.
What about Roman numerals? Are they doing that anymore either?
No, what do I need to know that for?
Because it's on things.
Here we go. Look, here's the time. There you go. Well, what are those numbers above it? Oh,
weren't you just listening to Elon Musk?
That's the date. Yeah, but I was listening to Elon Musk. When has he ever said, "Oh yeah, Roman numerals are coming back"?
No, but they're just coming out with stuff.
Oh, well,
they're just
AI.
eliminating.
Yeah, well, they're just rewriting history.
Yeah, elimination.
Yeah, I don't see any point to any of that. If I had a nice Movado or Cartier watch, maybe so I could tell the time, but that's about it.
Yeah.
What else? I'm waiting.
I don't know. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, what else?
What else you want to talk about?
Oh, okay. Switching the subject. Okay, Grandpa. That's awesome.
My father was so good at that.
What a transition.
Sal Rizzo.
All right, well, we're on jobs, and I think your most interesting jobs was when you worked in the clubs as a manager.
Well, I started off with a boyfriend whose brother owned a nightclub. And if you're going to hang out with the family, you sort of have to be with the family and work.
Wink.
Yeah, sort of.
They went away to college.
No, they were all really good.
None of them went to college?
None of them went.
Okay, so
Not that I know of.
Some of y'all will get that reference.
Anyway.
Henry Hill, anybody?
He didn't come to the club.
No.
Other people did.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I waitressed there for quite a while and made a lot of money.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. And it was a very respectful place. It wasn't actually like a sloppy,
Well, like every club nowadays?
Yeah, no, nobody touched you. You weren't allowed. They'd get their arm broken and thrown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that nobody ever did anything wrong. So after we broke up and they sold the place to other people, I stayed. I was asked to stay. And then I managed some of the girls, the waitress staff. And then there was like other areas, like the coat room, and they had a sundae bar. And
Sundae bar?
made sundaes.
Ice cream sundaes in the club?
Yeah. We served food.
Wait a minute. Okay. I've never heard of this ice cream bar. Sprinkles, hot fudge?
Supper club. It was a supper club.
Supper club?
Yeah, people actually sat. There was an area of tables up on one side, and then down on the dance floor, if there was a show, like we would have shows like Tavares, or there were bands that played.
I'm just thinking about Tyler and I going to a club like that, and like
really
people
nice.
are just bumping and grinding on the dance floor, and him and I just face deep in an ice cream fudge sundae.
Yes, that's
just
right.
looking at the club like
It's
we should
true.
probably go down there, but this fudge is sensational.
Well, you got to realize there was a lot of drugs.
Oh, jeez.
People got hungry.
Oh, there you go. That's why they had the ice cream bar. If it was nowadays, they'd have a mac and cheese bar. So, would you like the buffalo chicken mac and cheese or the regular Gouda?
No, we had a really good menu too. We had good food.
And the food was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't crappy food. And where was this club? Out east, or was it around here?
That one was in Franklin Square.
Okay, so it was close. Because I know you managed out east as well.
Yeah, I did. That was actually, I worked out east at a place called Le Mans, like the car.
Very fancy.
Very fancy. It's now it used to be, it turned into a store, and then a Pier 1. It was Pier 1.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Where the split in the road. Yeah, right next to the diner.
Southampton Diner, which is now called, it was called the Silver Lining Diner.
Yes, and that is your company.
That is my company. No, I didn't own the diner, but my company name is Silver Lining. So anyway, I worked out east, and I wasn't supposed to work out east because I was working at the club in Franklin Square, and I was away on vacation with my sister. We went to the Hamptons, and I was walking down the street, and my sister said, you're always working. You really needed to take the weekend off. And I was like, all right, well, we're here. We're having a good time. Walking down the street in East Hampton, and one of my friends who was the manager of the nightclub out there, she starts yelling, Rizzo! She's screaming, and I go, turn around, and there she is. And I went, oh my God, how are you? My sister goes, you're not working. You're not working. You're not going to work. She goes, I lost one of my girls. She goes, I promise I'll put you in the best spot. So I
could make a couple. I could probably make a couple scots.
So I said to her, well, how much can you make? So then she told me, and I said, Ange, I'll see you later.
What was it? What was it, roughly? You have to give an exact number.
It was probably around $2,000 a weekend.
$2,000 a weekend. And back then, that's big money. It
was like $10,000.
Yeah.
That was like ridiculous. That's just for Friday night and Saturday night.
What year?
Oh, God, let me think. Find out when Le Mans was open, and that was the year.
I mean, what was it, 20, not 20, Jesus. No, was it the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to say in 1985. Nah, 83.
No.
80?
Yeah, okay. Earlier, because I was still not really of age to be.
Here we go, inflation calculator. Thank you, U.S. government.
Yeah, it was a lot.
$2,000 in 1980 is equivalent in purchasing power to about $7,500 today.
There you go.
An increase of $5,500.
Yeah.
Over 43 years.
I'm telling you, I made a lot of money.
The dollar had an average inflation rate of 3.11% per year between 1980 and today, producing a cumulative price increase of 273.53%.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Y'all
you.
doing a crackerjack job.
Seriously. And
so what was that like when you went to that club for the first time?
Oh, I loved it.
Did you mesh with everybody? Like, okay, was everybody cool?
Nah, everybody was cool. Actually, it was the best.
While you're telling the story, I got to give Kenji his pill.
I want to tell you something. It was the best nightclub I ever worked at because you used to show up and the bar staff already set up your areas. You didn't have to do anything. You go in, you waitressed all night. The club closed at 4. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, right? We closed at 4, and then we banked out. And then the bar staff would clean up. And that was like, seriously? You guys are cleaning up after me? I usually have to wash floors. But, yeah, it was great.
Sorry, I know you were just sleeping.
Ah, puppy. Do you need treats? I have treats.
No, he's okay.
So that was actually a really good experience. I liked working with her, and she was great. Unfortunately, I heard that she had passed away. Another friend of mine that went early, breast cancer.
I hate that. We have a sore subject, a sore spot for that with Marina.
Yeah, with Marina. Marinara.
Yeah, marinara.
So it's unfortunate. I've lost a lot of friends there. And actually, one of my very best friends when I worked out there, another, not to keep bringing up bad stories, but she died in a plane crash.
Stevie Ray Vaughan style.
It was, she was going on vacation, and the plane crashed. I lost her then. She was a good friend of mine, Diane.
Tough.
I loved her. She was a lot of fun. We had a great time together, her and I. But again, it was just, nightclubs were tough. It was tough jobs. I had a lot of burn holes. You used to be able to smoke in the club. I had a lot of burn holes, burn marks on my legs and my arms because people just talking and drunk and
throwing
whatever.
Shit, ashing.
Yeah.
And then, you have the
and
actual,
I don't have
the
tolerance.
assholes.
Yeah, I don't have tolerance for drunks. I just don't. I don't have the tolerance for it. To me, is time to go. That's what I mean when I say, at one point, working those hours and then going to college. After I graduated high school, going to college, I worked nightclubs to pay for college. So doing all of that, it was exhausting. It's like, I started looking like Dracula. I actually have pictures of myself, and I look at them and I go, oh my God, did I ever see sun? I really look like Dracula.
Opaque.
Really?
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I worked there, and then they hired me to manage a nightclub up in Glen Cove, and I worked there. And that was good. We opened that place. That was fun. I had 4 owners, though. That was tough. 4 guys who like things done their way.
Yeah.
So I used to say, listen.
Who told you to do it this way? Oh, no, do it this way. Who told you to do it that way?
And unfortunately, some of them had daughters that were younger, a little younger than me, and somehow the bouncers all started dating the daughters, and then it became this whole... And
they were under the impression that they were in charge.
I'm sure. And then the bouncers got out of hand, and we had a couple of bouncers that were really arrogant assholes. We really did. There was one guy that really...
A lot of bouncers.
Well, there was the one guy that really always ready for a fight, and you thought you kind of always thought you'd kind of like got along with him, and then he'd like spiff off somewhere, and you'd be like, where is he? You know, like doing stupid shit somewhere. But yeah, they were big drinkers. The bouncers up there. That was a bad thing. I used to say to them, "Don't let the bouncers drink." Well, why are you letting them drink? They're going to start fights. It's like, you kidding?
Yeah.
So, and we had food up there too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And what was the final straw at the clubs for you?
I got hit in the face.
Can you break down that story? Because it's a pretty crazy story.
It's just stupid. It's just like a dumb thing. I'm talking about the bouncers. They were so busy. They were in front of the place. I'm in front of the bar. One of the waitresses come over to me and says, "There's a guy sitting on the bar." And he cleared the whole bar and shut us down. All the glass went in the ice machine. And so now we can't, how are we going to show, we can't serve a drink. So now I didn't know glass from ice. So I can't get a bouncer. The place is mad packed and everybody's jumping around and screaming. We had a really good DJ, actually. We had a great DJ there. We did. And I just walked up to the guy and I said, "Could you get down?" And he's like, "Well, who are you?" I said, "Well, I'm the manager, and I don't want to scream, and I don't want to call anybody over because they will not be as nice as I am." And he goes, "Oh, yeah," and he starts cursing and being an asshole. So I go like this, and I'm trying to call the bouncer over, and I turn around, and he punches me in the face.
Yep. Out cold?
Yeah, I hit the back of it was the bar, and then there was a wall. And I went back into the wall, and I fell. But I never saw that guy again. He was gone, never saw him again. But again, it was just too much. And I said, "You know what? You don't pay me enough. Not for this. I need a bouncer by my side at all times. And if you guys can't do that, then I'm out." I got 4 owners, all men, wandering around, coming on, well, I have to be honest with you. They weren't womanizers. They were tough guys. But they used to try to keep everybody in line. I mean, we had a fight one night in one of the ladies' rooms where the girls are throwing glasses at each other, and the whole place is mirrors. I'm like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" I'm like, all I hear is crash, crash. I'm like, where is that coming from? As awful as this sounds, I know it's going to sound bad, and I know I'm trying to be politically correct here. Let me think if I'm even going to say it. Probably not.
Don't make me edit a podcast.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that. Anyway, there's a certain situation when you own a place like that, which is you have to know your audience. You have to know your audience.
That's everything in life, though.
And you have to know who you're allowing to come in when there's certain elements already there. Like, there were certain things where I'd go, seriously, just, like the waitress, one of the waitresses, her boyfriend was like this. He would start a fight if a guy talked to her. And I'd go, she's working. And I don't have time for you. So chill. So she'd be working and some guy, God forbid someone did this to her. "Oh, thanks, hon." Give her a pat. He's fighting with the guy. Don't let him in. So that was the rule then. Sorry.
Don't let him in.
You're not allowed.
You have to understand exactly what you just said. You have to understand the audience. You have to understand
we're working.
What's going to mix well, what isn't. And it's like, you're going to put cats and dogs together, and that's it.
It was just brutal.
Yeah.
Towards the end, when I left there, it was like a war zone.
Yeah, and then especially you're adding alcohol and drugs.
Out. Oh, yeah.
And a great Sunday bar. I swear to God, if anybody eats the rest of this rocky road, it's on site. I will fuck everybody up in this place.
Bernadette, my friend Bernadette from high school, used to work the Sunday bar.
That's awesome.
She was so cute.
That's where I would be.
She used to be behind the bar.
I would have been 900 pounds.
She'd be hanging over the bar. She'd be hanging over the Sunday bar trying to see everybody dancing.
Yeah.
And I go, "Get back there."
That would have been like Pain for me when I was eating all the liquor.
And I actually gave another friend of mine a job, Adrian. She worked there too as the coat room. She worked at the coat check. She was very good.
So now you promptly exit the clubs.
Oh yeah, I had to get out of there.
And now what do you decide?
Hotel. No. The clubs were over, and I worked in the garment center. That's what I went to school for.
Okay. So you're going into the city now?
Yeah, going into the city.
What was it like commuting into the city back then?
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I believe the mayor was. I'm not whispering. I believe the mayor was Dinkins, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like it is now. That's what it was like.
A shithole. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Times Square, you didn't even want to.
I don't want to go to the city in general anymore.
You didn't even want to walk
Good
there.
on it.
You really couldn't even walk there.
Yeah.
And when I left the Garment Center and worked at the Hyatt, when they opened up the Hyatt Hotel, I used to work the grave shift sometimes, a lot. And I didn't mind that. But I used to have to walk from Penn Station to Grand Central. And I used to cut through Bryant Park. And those days, Bryant Park was heroin addicts.
Not awesome.
Homeless. And
so they've upgraded it actually. Now it's the entire city. So it's not just Bryant Park now.
I know.
They've upgraded it.
It's really bad.
In positive news, though, Bryant Park has the winter Wonderland spot open. Still not enough to get me to go to the city, but hey, fuck it.
No, there's areas of the city right now that you could actually go to. There's a lot of, like downtown, there are a lot of young people at some of the, like they go to the hotel bars and stuff, the rooftops. It's just different now. It is. It's just different now.
It's just a hassle to do things. That's my issue. It's a hassle. You either got to get an Uber, you got to take the train. Yeah. Everyone's fiery.
See, we didn't even care about that. We used to drive anyway. I mean, when I used to drive out to the
but you guys used to have people that would be drunk driving, and the cops would sit with them and have a cup of coffee with them. Yeah, it's not the same nowadays. You fuck your whole life up. You have one ticket now.
True.
It's not like that anymore.
It's true. But driving to the Hamptons,
let
me tell you something. Driving out to the Hamptons, when I think about it sometimes, I say to myself, what was I thinking? I would get out of school. I'd get out of my job waitressing at the Franklin Square nightclub. I'm not going to say any names.
Nope.
And then I would get home 4 o'clock in the morning, get my stuff, and drive. Now, I've been up 24 hours. I would drive to the Hamptons, and there were no lights on the road back then. Yep.
There still aren't barely any lights on the road.
Yeah, but you get off, sunrise, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, all the way out. And I would say I think about it now, and I say to myself, if you ever got stuck, you didn't have a phone, there's no lights, and you are just an abduction dream. Yeah. You're just, there you are, in the middle of nowhere.
It'd be like Deadliest Catch. You have to set a flare off.
Yeah. I mean, there were farms then that would, I'm acting like I'm 90 years old, but there is a big difference between...
Oh, it's things have changed very drastically in X
changes.
Amount of years.
Yeah, drastic
50, let's just say 50 years. Think about how different the world was in 50 years ago. Just for 50 years.
It is. It's very different now. It really is. But I mean, we listen, when my sister was dating Charlie and we used to go into the city, we used to go to a place called Roxy. See, your kids don't have any of this stuff. I wish you did.
No.
Roxy was a roller skating rink that we had a DJ.
You know why? Because Roxy nowadays would be $50 for an entry fee.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
And the skates would be an additional $20 just to even break into the scene to have some fun for an hour or so.
Yeah. And then there was an after hours club we used to go to, and
think about in my position.
In fact, I met the guys from Kiss there. The actual
Gene Simmons?
No, the other one. What's his name?
I don't know.
Lead singer. I'm not a Kiss fan. So
Starchild?
Yeah. One with a star?
Yeah, Starchild.
I think that's him. Yeah. Anyway, he actually was there and passed me. I was going to the ladies' room. He was passing me. And, of course, I always think that everybody I notice, what happens with me, I see someone famous, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what year they graduated. They look very familiar.
Oh, you think from high school? You weirdo.
I didn't know who it was until
Starchild.
He didn't have any makeup on.
I would never recognize him without makeup.
Yeah, he had none of his makeup on.
What does he look like without makeup?
I don't know. Anyway,
evidently you do, because you passed him in the bathroom.
Well, Charlie told me who it was. I said, that guy looks so familiar to me. He goes, yeah, of course he does. I forget his name. I wasn't a Kiss fan. I'm a Led Zeppelin fan.
I got you. Hold on. Oh, he looks the same without the makeup.
That's him.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley.
Yep.
Right. Anyway, so he passed me, and I went, wow, he looks so familiar. He's got long black hair. I'm saying to myself, could have hung out with such and such. I can't say names. So I go to Charlie. I go, who's that guy? I said, he looks very familiar to me. Charlie goes, what are you, an idiot? I go, what? He goes, it's Paul Stanley from Kiss. I went, no, it's not. He goes, yeah, it really is. I go, well, I'm not a big Kiss fan, so why would I think you look familiar?
He's just one of the guys in the back that was doing drugs
He was doing
in the Charger.
Oh, we passed over that little information. Yeah, so anyway, when I was working in the nightclub,
we're
waitressing,
real quick.
yeah, we're going to backtrack real fast. I used to get a lot of tips in cocaine. They used to give me a little envelope. And some money, but mostly cocaine. Mostly cocaine. So at the end of the night, I would go up to the bartender, and I'd go, I need you to cash me out. He'd go, okay. He'd pick up the scale, and he'd stick it on the bar, because there was nobody there now. Everybody's gone except the busboys and me. And he'd put it on the bar, and he'd weigh everything out, and then he'd I'm going to round it up, he'd say to me. I'm going to round it up. I go, yeah, you better round it up. So he would give me the money in cash. In fact, I used to watch somebody's house that was in a rock and roll band for a friend of mine. She used to work for me in the coat room at the club up in Glen Cove. Her boyfriend was a well-known, at the time,
rock star,
who was very friendly with John Bon Jovi, actually. And he actually came to the house one night. But he was not John Bon Jovi then. He was just John. So I used to watch their house, and there was drugs everywhere. And there were drugs everywhere. And he would say to me, he'd go, we're going to go on tour. And when I get back, he goes, make sure everything's good. And I'd go, okay, make sure everything's good.
And make sure the drugs are still there. That's why he liked you. You didn't steal the drugs.
Not a tiny even bit.
Didn't take a gram, half a gram.
Nothing. Everything was exactly the way it was when he got back, and he'd go to me, you are the only person that I would ever leave my house with. I'd go, why? He goes, because everything's still here.
Yeah, you're not stealing
what
drugs.
is it? Yeah. He had a ferret as a pet, and the ferret used to, I
feel like ferrets stink.
Well, there's a story behind that I'm not going to get into, because that was pretty gross. But, yeah, he infected the house, but not while I was there, thank God.
Ugh.
Yeah, he infected worms and everything, but
Ugh.
yeah, I can't. Yeah. So anyway, and he also had a boa constrictor, big one, like 14 feet.
No, I'm good on that.
In its own room.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that.
On a tree.
All it has to do is realize that there are vents, and that's it.
So that was my, that was the ex. That was the only ex. I used to say to him, I go, listen, I'll watch the house for you while you're away. Because it was great. I worked in Syosset. The house was in Cold Spring. I was like, cool, I'm right here by work. I don't have to drive all the way from West Hempstead or Franklin Square.
Yeah, I could chill here for the night and then go.
Yeah, it was great. I'd just go to work. I was down the block. So that's when I worked for New York Life. Another job. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, I've had a lot of jobs.
Relax with all these hats. You're going to knock all my tiles out in the ceiling.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I've had a lot of jobs. Mostly I left because people gave me...
The creeps.
Yeah, creepy. The New York Life thing was really creepy. My manager was really creepy. Not my direct manager, the general manager of the place. He was disgusting. And a womanizing piece of crap. But anyway, so...
Yeah, tell him.
He has since passed, which I was very happy to hear, by the way, that he wasn't doing that to anyone else. So, yes. So let's not even get into that story.
We're not.
So, yeah, no, I don't even want to, because
you're the only one in the room that's thinking about getting into it. We're not.
So anyway, what was I saying? So watching the house.
The large snake, and it was perfect.
Snake. I used to say to him all the time, I'd go, listen, I'll watch the house, but that has to stay. How long are you going to be away? Because it might be dead when you get home. I am not feeding it.
What did he used to feed it? Rats, right?
Rats.
Yeah, big rats.
And throw them in the room and close the door. And I'd go, how do you know he's not like hanging over the door? And you open the door. But for some reason, he was okay with the snake. Like the snake was all right with him.
Yeah.
But anybody else. And I sleeping there, I'd be like, ooh, I wonder if he got into the
vents. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, the vents.
I don't think he could have. He was really big.
Ugh, no, I'm good.
You had snakes.
I did, but he was a little guy.
Yeah, but you know what? That was one thing, Nikki. I got to be honest with you. That was one thing. Like people say, well, come on, give us the dirt on the kid. You know, like what did he drive you crazy over? It was, it started with the frogs.
Oh, the frogs.
I didn't mean to kill them. I didn't do it.
Go ahead. Tell the story to the masses. Go ahead. Tell them how you killed my little frogs in their little tank.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, but you did.
It was a very blonde move. So I was cleaning the house. Murderer. That's what you did. You called me a murderer.
Because you are.
I think you were 6.
You fucking murdered them.
I didn't mean to.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, they were in a bowl, and they were tiny little frogs.
Talk into that mic. Don't talk inside of it.
They were little teeny
Too close.
They were little teeny. They were little teeny frogs. They were very cute. There was a bunch of them.
Did I have them when they were tadpoles and they grew up to frogs?
No.
Okay. They were just the frogs.
They were just.
I remember them. Their bowls stunk.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
So I was going to clean everything, and I put them on the kitchen. We were in West Hempstead at the time. That was my house in West Hempstead.
Yep.
I put them on the windowsill, and I was washing the floor and cleaning everything. And I thought it was nice because they could see outside.
Nice. Yeah. Good way for them to just...
Then the sun came.
Yeah.
And cooked them.
They cooked them right in their own bowl.
They were gray. Oh, my God. When I went up there and saw them, I went, oh, Nikki's going to flip out.
Yep.
And I went to the pet store and thought I was going to replace
Swap them out.
They didn't have any.
Yeah, they were all out of Kermits.
They were all out of frogs.
Yeah.
I was screwed. So
and what happened when I arrived home?
When you came home, you put your hands in your face and started screaming. You were like this. You murdered my pets.
Damn, just a life.
You murdered the frogs.
Just a life of stress. Oh my God.
Jeez.
You threw my Furby. It started talking Chinese.
It did. It started talking Chinese.
Yep.
Furby.
Another.
Remember when we moved?
Another murderer. Yeah.
We had 2 Furbies and we put them in the box. And the mover started moving things and something started talking.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, listen.
They do. Whoa. Yeah. The movers thought we had bodies in the boxes.
The mover goes, hang on. There's something talking in one of these boxes.
Feed me. Yeah, feed me.
I said, it's his toys. Don't worry about it. He goes, you sure? Well, it's not a person.
Yeah. It's a little person.
It's not a person.
Little person. We had a wee man in the back. It's awesome.
It's been an interesting ride.
It has been an interesting ride.
Yeah, it has been.
What did you have to deal with as the graveyard shift manager at the Hyatt?
Oh, that was good. I can't tell you that story. I'm filtering.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say in that business, when there is anything that happens that is like tragic or an issue, usually they're paying off the news not to announce it.
You're saying that corporations pay the news channels to not talk about things? No. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
A lot of money.
Wow, we're just really having our eyes open all of a sudden.
We were really good about having cash in the vault.
Oh.
Yeah. I will tell you one thing though. Listen to this one.
You were the greasy palm?
Yeah, I was in the front desk. Hey, listen, it was my job. Anyway, and I never knew where it went anyway. It was put envelope, put this there, and do that. And I'd, fine, okay. So, anyhow, the wind-up is that with all that stuff that was going on in the hotels at the time, the one bad thing that I hated about that job was the homeless would come and take baths in the fountain in the front of the hotel. And then I'd have to call somebody to come and get them out because they would not get out. And then there'd be a thick layer of
film
and dirt and oil.
It's tough because in one aspect you feel for them.
Oh, I felt terrible for them.
Yeah, you feel for them. And you tried giving money to one of them and they chased you.
She chased me.
Alleyway.
She hit me.
That was the last time Karen tried to
Yeah, now you're on your own, bitch. Okay. Tried to feed you, gave you money.
Yeah.
And she was rude.
Tough.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
I didn't
brutal.
expect that. I don't need your money, you bitch. She was screaming at me. I'm like, I'm just trying to be nice. And she's like, don't be nice to me.
Okay. Sick.
Tipping. Thank you.
I'll keep it.
I'm out.
I'm out of here.
Just going.
Yeah, I tried.
That was Bryant Park, by the way.
Oh, shocker.
That was Bryant Park. Yeah. Walking through Bryant Park, I always saw the same woman. I felt so bad for her because she had no shoes, and she had
duct tape.
No, rags.
Okay.
Rags tied around her feet and then knotted on top, and I felt so bad for her. So I was like, "Yeah, let me give you money." And at the time, it was like $20. I thought it was a lot. So I said I was going to give her $20, and I actually was giving her food, and she chased me and hit me in the back. I was like, "Yeah, don't touch me."
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, she flipped me out.
Yeah, that was the last time.
So that was it. Sorry, people.
I
you
made up
on your own.
I made up for it with the homeless guy in Hawaii that I gave food to.
Yes, that was very nice, and he was very respectful and appreciated it.
I don't know if he was in another world.
But he appreciated it. He said thank you.
Yeah, he could barely mumble thank you. He was really not doing good. It was very sad. It was very sad.
Seeing that.
Yeah,
Just awful.
Yeah, I got him waters. I to be honest with you, I wish I got him more. I wish I bought him some more waters or maybe some like medicine or something from the convenience store. It's tough.
They don't want medicine. They don't know what to do with it. They're mentally not together.
Well, some of them yes, some of them no. It depends on the situation. And then of course I feel for the homeless veterans because we have so many veterans in our family.
Yes.
And we have so many people that we know that served, Stahl,
yes.
my buddy Zach. We have a lot of people that have served. So that's a sort, as this podcast grows, that's the cause that I want to give back to. And I want to have a more of a role and integrated part in helping is the veterans, because
I know
the fact that we can make room for people to come into the country.
I know, don't say it. Please.
But it's not but it's not making it political. I'm cool with immigrants. I really am. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for immigration.
I know.
We would not be here. But the fact that we can bring people into this country, give them top shelf treatment.
True.
And our veterans are out on the street.
True.
Fending for themselves, mental health problems, PTSD from being over there in war, handicapped, mauled and maimed from having grenades blown up in their faces, and this and that. No services to help them. But the new people that just got here, they get penthouse suites, they get all this bullshit. Whether the stories are true or not, just the fact that they would even get a hotel room and hot meals is bullshit.
I know.
We have people in this country that served,
that
put their lives on the line, and they're on the street, or even worse,
or they're in adult homes.
They're home and sick and pacing in their home, and they don't know what to do with themselves. So that's a sore subject for me. So that's what I want to do. I want to give back at some point for that cause, because that is tough.
And the puppies too.
Oh yeah, they're the puppies that serve. Yeah.
I know. Paws of war.
Paws of war.
I always give them. That's a friend of mine, Chris, actually does a lot for them. He does a golf outing every year.
I have to go this year. Next year?
Next year.
Yeah.
But, no, I understand.
So
anyway, so that was one of the things they used to bathe in the...
Call the police, and the police would come. The firefighters
police would say,
the police would come. They say the firefighters are responsible for this, and the firefighters would come. They're like, police are responsible for this.
And then they would call, and they'd know me.
Like modern day politicians.
I would call, and they'd go, yes. They'd go, Karen, you got to call the fire department. I go, no, they're not going to come. Well, we're not coming either. I'd be like, oh, someone's got to come. I got to get these people out of here. So the doormen would be flipping out that they got to drag them. And I will tell you that they changed that whole front of the Hyatt Hotel now.
And this is the one that's near Grand Central.
Yeah, 42nd and Lex. So that one, actually, they changed that whole front thing now, so you can't fit a person in the... It was a big fountain.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was a big waterfall is what it was. And it was like a tub. It was big. Now it's like a little strip with like drips.
They learned their lesson.
I know. They had to redo that whole thing. We had
they
people in it
only,
all the time.
They said only the Slender Man's getting in this fountain.
I don't think even the Slender Man would fit. It's so tiny.
Happy Halloween, by the way, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, witches.
I didn't dress up because I'm a grown-ass man.
I was going to bring my witch hat, but I wasn't sure when you were going to post this, so I figured
I'm probably going to post this tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm quick with it.
Okay. So those are the jobs. So after the
Hyatt, what did you decide to jump into? And actually, I want to get into this. At what point, with all of these conglomerate jobs,
I know.
At what point did you buy your first house at 21? Which is a pretty crazy feat.
That was New York life.
Even though back then, houses cost $40.
No, it really wasn't. It was $165,000.
What?
I love that house.
Yeah, it was a dope house.
I wish I would have kept that house.
Yeah. What's it worth now? I'm very curious.
Probably about $500.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that house. But I did a lot there.
So would you recommend that young kids buy a house straight out like that? Quick, right? First house, young 20s? It depends situationally. I get that. But in general, was it worth...
Right now?
In general, we're talking now, because now is the young kids who are buying. So take, you're a mortgage broker. Take rates out. Take all that bullshit out. If they can afford it, do you recommend they get it?
Yeah.
Or is it worth more of a headache? Is it more of a headache than it's worth?
Depends on the lifestyle you want. I will tell you, once I bought the house, I was exceptionally lonely. My friends were all going away spring break and going to the Bahamas, going to Aruba, going to Florida, and I was stuck like mowing the lawn. So it wasn't, and I bought a house that had an apartment in it.
Yourself.
Yeah, no, that's when I was drinking. So I was definitely was having a
spiked sweet tea.
Yeah, I was definitely doing something. It wasn't drugs, but it was something. And I'd have my friends over and stuff, and
which was nice, I'm sure.
Family, everybody came over. When I bought the house, I had a little party, so it was very nice. But again,
once they leave after the party's over, it's just you.
Just you. And it had needed a lot of work. It was an old guy's house, and I didn't argue with him. He wanted what he got it, and I didn't even go in the house. I bought the house.
Wow.
It was like when you got the car. You didn't even know how to drive.
I didn't know how to drive the S5, but I was sitting in it for days. I was like, I was fantasizing. I
love the house. I still go by there. I'm just sorry that they made a shithole out of it.
Be like that sometimes. When the sentimental value isn't there for them.
Yeah.
They don't care.
You want to know something? A lot went on that block. My best friend, Donna,
Yep.
Joanne died.
Yep.
She was raising the puppies. You had a good time with all the Shih Tzus. They were so cute. Boo Boo. He had a little ear.
Little fucked up ear.
Yeah. That was your first little pet.
So you don't recommend it in a lot of aspects because a lot of people become house poor.
Yes, and right now, like I'm saying, that's why I asked you right now, because right now, I think if somebody's going to get into real estate right now in your age group, I would, and not married, single people, I would probably tell them, if you're going to do it, buy an investment property and don't live there.
And rent an apartment.
Either rent an apartment or stay home and save your money. There's plenty of people that, have houses big enough where they can still stay with their parents if they kick in a little. There's no reason to live home if you're not going to kick in a little after 25 years old. I mean, come on. Or even 30, but when it comes down to it, it's a big responsibility. And I wasn't able to enjoy my 20s where other people did. Like they went out and did a lot. I mean, I did a lot, but, what was I doing? I was going to nightclubs.
And you were working.
Well, I was working, but...
And why were you working so much? Was it to...
afford everything.
Was it eventually to buy the house? Because you were working hard like that prior to the house anyway.
I had to pay for college.
Okay.
My parents were very generous. They did what they could do. They did for Angela a certain amount. They did a certain amount for me. My father did not really believe that girls should go to college. He was old-fashioned and did not believe. My mother actually had a fight with him, and that was like one of the only fights I ever thought they had.
That was like my big fat Greek wedding. He didn't.
Yeah,
want her
but
to
my
go to
dad
college.
actually did jewelry for one of the schools. Well, I got to realize, I graduated a year early, and my senior year of high school was my first year of college. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to go to college, but I wanted to go to college the way I wanted to go to college. But instead, my father was the jeweler for the chairman of a school, which I'm not going to say. Yeah. And he came home and gave me, here's your schedule. You start September. And I went, what do you mean?
Awesome.
So I'm looking at it. I'm going, I have to take these classes? And my mother goes like this.
Just shut up. You can change
Shut
it
up
later.
and go. So I was in an all-boys school.
Oh.
It was like, I think there were 5 women in the entire school, 5 girls going to college. It was an architectural blah, blah, blah school. And I'm like, wait a second. This is not what I wanted to do. And, my mother just talked me into the fact that business is what I should go for. I'm very good at it, blah, blah, blah. And I've never really done what I wanted to do.
And what did you want to do?
I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
But I did it, and it was fine. And I was thankful. My parents were gracious. And listen, my father helped me with my first car. My mother paid for so much stuff. I was a single mom. If it wasn't for my parents, they kicked in and helped me a lot with you, a lot. But again, I did have to pay for a lot of babysitters and stuff because while they were helping me, they were helping my sister with her 2 children. So it was a lot of, there's a lot. My parents really did a lot for us. Yep. They did a lot for themselves, though, too. They went traveling a lot. And they did, listen, I was blessed. I had great parents. I really did. I can't say anything bad about them. My father was funny and didn't even know it. My mother was the strict one, but she was strict in the right way. They were hard workers. They were good people. You know, my mom's still alive. I don't think anybody knows, but my father died 2019, right before COVID. And losing him really put a hole in the family because we're very small. We're a very small family. Yep. Losing him was a lot.
Well, I've said it a lot of times. Grandpa is more of a father to me than my dad is. So,
yeah. And that was a strange situation for me. I never thought I'd be divorced. Never.
yeah.
I always wanted to be married like my parents, you know, for years and years and celebrate anniversaries and da-da-da. But again, after divorcing, well, it took a long time to get divorced for no reason. But anyway, when I finally did finalize, I really wanted to concentrate on being a mom. And unfortunately, I always had to work. So you grew up in my office building. And actually, one of the girls on my Facebook page, did you see that, Carol?
No.
Carol used to be the manager in the building in Uniondale that I went to when I first opened up my own shop. And she was the manager there. It was like a Regis Center. It was an executive center. But a guy by the name of Arnie actually, he's the one brilliant guy, seriously, when you look back. He was the first one to put together that kind of a building. He rented an entire floor in an office building and separated it all, and we all had our own little room, and we all paid rent. And then he had the girls. That was part of our rent. The girls managed the floor, and they would take our mail, and they would answer the phones, and they would do all of that. I've been there. Arnie sold to HQ. HQ sold to Regis. I have been renting from them for 35 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I could have bought a building. But it was great. And they really helped me. So she actually looked at your picture when I put that thing on Facebook about having a son and sundae. And she wrote down, she goes, is that little blonde boy with the blue eyes?
Blonde. That's right. Used to have blonde hair.
Platinum really blonde. Me too. Really blonde. Blue eyes. Big blue eyes. She says, oh my God, he's so, and I said, yeah. I said, but he had good moms. I said that on the Facebook page. I said, you helped me raise him. She did. The girls were great. If it wasn't for them, I couldn't have seen clients. And then Arthur, do you remember that down the hall?
No.
You were little. Used to run around. Used to take the candy off my desk, and I'd go ahead, go bring it to everybody. And you thought I was in charge of everybody on the floor.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were the boss.
Yeah. So as you came back with this man, you dragged him back to my office, and you said, I told him if he doesn't take a piece of candy, you're going to fire him. Meanwhile, he's the accountant down the hall. I go, I will. I'll fire you.
Yeah, that's it.
He goes, okay, I'll take a piece of candy.
Yeah, take it.
But he was laughing the whole time.
Let me ask again.
Yeah. And then Arthur, when I was on the phone with clients, used to like when my sister and I were small and my mother was on the phone, we'd interfere. When I was on the phone in my office, because it was very small. My office was probably, I don't know, a quarter of this thing. Not even. Less than that. And you were like right here next to me on the floor playing. And then I'd get a phone call and I'd go, oh, Nikki, you got to go inside. You got to go down the hall and go see Arthur. Arthur was two young guys. They were probably, I guess I was about 30 years old at the time, 30, 31. And they were like in their mid-20s, maybe early 20s, mid-20s. They were stockbrokers down the hall. And I'd go down and talk to Arthur. And you'd go, okay. So I would hear Arthur go, hey, buddy, what's going on? Was
Arthur the accountant?
No, they were stockbrokers. They had a TV on the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
Because they used to watch the stocks. So you had a TV on the ceiling, like half in the corner. And he would come in and go, is it okay if we feed him? I'd go, yeah, you can feed him. Okay. Because I go, can you hold on a minute? And I go, what's the matter? Is everything okay? Arthur would go, no, we're just playing. We're playing. Can we feed him? I'd go, yeah, you can. What are you eating?
I'm a fucking puppy.
You could feed him.
I don't know.
They would get pizza.
Fire.
They would get
fire. Let's go.
They were the best babysitters.
And so Nick's obesity started. Let's go.
No, you were tiny.
I know. I was a little skinny kid.
Oh my God. And he'd give you, and I'd come down. After a while, they knew that you were coming. Eventually, you'd be hanging out with them again. So he had pillows and a blanket on the floor, and you all three of you, the two stockbrokers and you in the middle, would be watching cartoons, eating pizza and drinking soda. And I'd go, wow, there's a party.
Yeah. You like that sometimes.
Oh, they were the
sometimes
best.
Just need a little pizza party midday.
Actually, he was friends with Anthony. Cordero.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was good friends with Anthony. Actually, they lived together at the time. That was a long time ago. My God, you were so small, Nikki.
So I actually wanted to ask you about, you don't have to talk directly about Dad, but having been married and then 6 months later, he was diagnosed with MS. And then how much longer after that did I join the party?
We were married, 4 years later, you joined us.
But how
But we had already split up.
How quickly into the marriage did he get sick?
Oh, 6 months.
6 months in.
Yeah, we were married, and then 6 months.
3.5.
Well, it was 6 months. He was diagnosed,
And then he started getting bad after that.
but he had a lot of symptoms already.
Yeah. And I've talked about it before. Dad, my father has MS, so it's always been a struggle dealing with that on my side, and I think it affected his mental and things like that. So after you guys split up and I was around, that kind of started you into the single mother realm, and you were really mom and dad for me the whole time. I mean, let's be clear. That's why I use Rizzo. I said that a couple episodes ago. That's why I use Rizzo as my last name. My grandfather, mom's father, was really a father to me, and I was raised by them. So if I wasn't at her office, I was at Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Yeah, or you were at my house, and my father was feeding you dinner, which was Carvel.
Carvels.
Yes, that my father would call it
Plural
Carvels.
for some reason. He made everything plural.
Daddy, did Nikki eat? Yeah, we went to Carvel's.
Yeah.
That's not dinner,
And
Dad.
so Nick's
That's
obesity
okay.
has a round. We're starting to connect the dots. Very constellation-like. Very interesting. Yeah.
You always ate healthy with me.
Yeah, but the problem is everybody else I didn't eat healthy with.
I know.
And then because I ate healthy with you, then I would binge and eat a bunch of bad shit, and then I wasn't moving. You know, let's face it. I didn't have a father that took me out to do things. So
No, because he couldn't either. But actually, back then he could have.
I remember he brought me to the gym before we went to get sushi one time in Franklin Square, because we would get sushi every Friday night. He brought me to the gym, and looking back on that, we weren't there very long. I don't remember what he actually trained.
I got to tell you, your father was in good shape when I met him.
I've seen the pictures.
He was in good shape.
He was okay. I
don't remember him heavy.
I think if I had a teleporter to go back in time, and my dad and we had a little scuffle on the street, I think I'd be a problem for him. My little short ass. I think I'd be a problem for him.
I know you are. He's tall.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got the Rizzo gene. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We're
cool.
small people.
I'm cool with it. Compact. I was comfortable on that Dubai flight. I'm cool with it. We're good. I was able to crunch those knees up. If I was any taller, it would have been a problem. That's okay with me. So
what did you want me to say?
So I just wanted to know what it was like having to mentally go through that.
It was
because listen, it's a mental challenge for couples that get into situations like that because it's a marriage. So you guys are together on that. It's not just he got diagnosed. It's almost like he got diagnosed, but y'all got diagnosed because now sickness and health, that is it. It's the start of what you think is going to be a long and prosperous marriage, and it's like, well, we're starting it with an illness. That's tough.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to something that I said. Yeah, have that.
It's going to be loud though on the mic.
That's okay. Does he want treats? I have them.
No.
Anyway, okay, so, I was very happy. I thought I was anyway, with the fact that I was marrying into a large family. And I thought that was going to be something that would be great because I was used to my family and how close we are. And if something happened, you had someone there. When my niece had a car accident, we all loaded in the car and we all went to Stony Brook Hospital. There was no question. We're picking you up, we're coming, we're going. You know what I mean? It's just, that's what we do. But when it was your father's situation, we were very much on our own.
Yeah, you didn't realize they were descendants of hell.
They were a tough family. Mm-hmm. They were tough. They were very, very tough. And I don't even want to get into it.
No, they're not worth the airtime.
They're not. They really aren't. I don't even want to. There's no sense. But people are people, and they are going to be who they're going to be. And they showed me who they were. And I knew that we would never be close, which was hurtful to begin with. And then when your father became ill and he was diagnosed having this, he didn't take it well. And I brought him to every possible doctor, mental, physical, just anyone and everyone I could get my hands on. I was researching it and making sure that we got him to the best doctor that we could, which was Dr. Blank, by the way. And he actually runs the MS Society. He was I don't even know if he's alive. He was old when I talked to him. But anyway, that's a long time ago. He was a great guy, great doctor, very on top of his game. And I think that's why your father's still alive, to be honest with you. But I did tell your father that he should be doing, water aerobics back then. And yoga and all this stuff. And he refused. And the doctor actually told me, not Dr. Blank, but another associate of his had said to me at the time, this is a very difficult illness. And you will find as a spouse that either he will do everything that he is supposed to do, and he will maintain a healthy, long life, that he can enjoy himself, and you can both enjoy a life together, or he is going to make you insane, and you're going to wind up leaving. So I'm just telling you, it's either one extreme or another. And your father went the other. And he just did not want to be around.
Yep.
So he went.
That's okay. Peace. Have a good one.
I was just telling my nephew about this tonight. It's funny, I was talking to him earlier before I came out. And he's going through a little bit of a hard time right now. And I said to him, and I mean this, there is no 50-50 in a relationship. There's not. There's 100. You're either in or you're out. It's like being pregnant. You are either pregnant or you're not. There's no in between. So if you're going to be in a relationship, you must be 100% in it. And if you don't think that you can be, don't go there. Yep. Because it's very easy to say I do, and it takes an awful lot of shit to say I don't anymore. And you drag everybody down with you. So, and children suffer. And that was the one thing that kind of crushed me, because you were so little. And to be honest, things got so dangerous in the house that I had to save us. That's really the bottom line. I had to save us. Things were getting really bad. I mean,
you don't have to say anything.
Yeah, really, yeah. They were getting really bad. So I did. And even though I love that house, I wish I never sold it. I did love that house. It's the little house that I always say that. It's the little house that you draw when you're in kindergarten. It's the house that looks like this with the point and the door in the front and 2 windows. That was my house. I love that house.
But it was time to move on.
I had to get out of there. It was too much for me. It was just too much for me. And then we had the tenant upstairs, which was your babysitter. Remember him? Mm-hmm. He was lovely. Alan. Loved him. Nice man. Thank God for him, too. He helped me out a lot. But then it was just time to go. And then when I met Peter, you really had a good dad there for quite a few years. I know you may not remember it, but you guys got along very well. He coached the Little League team. I mean, he came to every open school night. He prompted you to play the trumpet. He bought you one. I mean, he was really a good stand-in dad. He really was. And
he was all right.
He really was.
He was all right.
I know.
It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. He was all right.
I understand. But I understand where you drew the line also. I understand. As you got older, things were different. Mm-hmm. And then we split up. And then I decided that I really needed to be there for you because we were the team, right? Aren't we always the team?
It's day one.
We're the team. And I just didn't want to bring anybody else home. And I dated here and there, but no one really that I would write home about. Just like I tell you,
No outdoor cats.
No outdoor cats. Got to only bring home indoor cats. And in my case, it was junkyard dogs. So
yeah, it'd be doggy.
So I didn't want to. So I remained. And to tell you the truth, it was fine. I have really good friends and family, and it was really okay.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like in other words, like people say to me, I can't believe you're not with anyone. I can't believe you don't have a steady. And I'm like, but I would if I met the right person, and I haven't met anyone that complements my life that would be 100% in.
Important. Yeah.
At this stage of the game. I mean, even with Peter.
Even at a
Peter,
younger stage of the game.
Yeah, but even with Peter, I mean, he really wanted to get married at one point. And I kept saying to him, it's not really necessary. We're really good this way. As long as we both know that we're in. And I mean,
we're not drifting and
not having children. So, and he didn't want kids. Still doesn't have children. So, I mean, it was okay the way it was. And there was no, like, you keep your shit, I keep mine for my son, and we're good. I mean, I don't know how much shit you need. But listen, everybody has their own take on it. He wanted to get married into church if we got married. And I got an annulment in order to do that. I paid for that and made sure I could get married in a church if he wanted to. And just things didn't work out, so we just split. It was fine.
I think the important note for that, though, is that you would prefer to be by yourself than to put up with just having somebody.
It's not even putting up with. It's a matter of not having somebody in your life that's special. Because I have a very big thing about. You and I talk about everything, so I think that I don't even know if we should even discuss this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When you talk about a sexual relationship, anybody can go out and get laid. Anybody can. Mm-hmm. You can do it. There's always somebody that'll say, yeah. You know what I mean?
As Jamal says, meet and beat apps.
I love Jamal. It's just, and to me, at certain stages of my life, I just didn't feel as if that was satisfactory. To me, I really believe that the best sex you can have is with someone that you're totally into. And that's just the way I see it. So when it came down to it, I kept being reminded that it's the third date.
Okay, great,
like, I didn't know what rules that was. I was like, where are those? Yeah. What do you mean third date?
Oh, wait, I didn't get
Did I miss something?
I didn't get the contract you guys sent over. Was that notarized?
Well, it's third date. You're supposed to drop your drawers. I'm like, wow.
Damn, son.
That's interesting. I said, well, you got the wrong girl. It's invitation only.
Hey.
And you ain't invited. So, I mean, I don't know.
You got to set standards for yourself. And so many people don't have standards.
That's how I feel about it. And it's okay. Listen,
anymore.
A one-night stand is fine. One night stand is fine. If you got something going and you get that going on and you have a good time and nobody feels guilty the next day, there's no walk of shame, you're good. But if that's the only way you're having a sexual relationship, then I see there's a problem.
That's most of the.
Yes, I know. That's your age group, and it's a bad way to be.
Yeah, well, it's sad. It's that is the lonelier way than just being by yourself, chilling, not having any drama.
That's how I feel about it. Listen, I understand that guys have sex differently than women, depending upon the moment. It's more of a functional thing, and it's almost mechanical at times because they just want to have it.
How you doing?
Yeah, and it's because that's the way men look at it. And
well, it's also because how we're wired to some extent.
Yes, and I get it.
A little different.
I get it. However, I really do believe that it's both sides of that coin, that a man can have a very deep and meaningful sexual relationship with somebody that they really, really care about. I think that it is possible for someone to be monogamous. There are some men that are not. Well, and going through my dating history, there were plenty of guys that were not going to be, just with me. And I would remind them, it's all good.
You do you.
You do you.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not one of your tribe. It's cool. Go have a party.
Yeah. Go find the others that put the pineapples on the door on the cruise.
Exactly.
Keep that fruit shit over there.
Yeah, keep that shit over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to know. So.
But yes, I agree. But what I'm saying is, unfortunately, people aren't holding the standards up for themselves. They're allowing the promiscuity to just float.
Because my age group screwed it all up.
I know you guys did.
Yeah, my age group screwed it all up. So the kids just feel like, what the hell? I'll do this one. I'll do that one. I'll go here. I'll go there.
And then that's more
The girls are spoiled.
What I'm trying to say,
it's like
what I'm trying to say is that's more lonely than
Yes,
if you
it
just
is.
spent time alone.
Yes.
Because you feel like you're just being used left and right.
Very true.
Men and women.
Yes.
Because guess what? It impacts the same thing. After a while, hey guys, I don't know if y'all were told this, but the dudes that really keep the number count and y'all really try to hammer that number up and up and up, no one gives a fuck. It actually doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It actually is sad.
It is sad to me.
Yeah,
it is. And I actually met somebody that I was very attracted to and really liked him as a person. And it was the biggest turnoff to hear that, what flavor of the month are you sleeping with now?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
You like that.
God. To me, it's like, does that make you more of a man?
Well, evidently,
in your own mind?
some guys,
Okay.
it makes it more desirable. To me, I don't understand that.
Well, some guys just feel like that's what they got to do. Okay, then if that's what you got to do, go ahead, but then do it
but
without me.
also be upfront with whoever you're with.
Exactly. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't be tiptoeing. Don't be a fucking creep.
Yeah, don't breadcrumb everybody because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs in the dating pool, and I have met a lot of nice people, just didn't click.
But it's also tough as a single mom.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is. Actually, it's tough as a single mom if, under any circumstances, whether you have 1 or 5, just is. But when you're a dedicated parent, I will say that there's been situations in my past where, not that there was a jealousy situation that I favored you, but there was a question about priorities. There's like a really thin line with men. They sometimes can be rude when you have a child that's a boy.
I'm sure they can.
That's a boy.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. Because they know I'm either going to grow up and like them or fucking hate them, and I'm going to be a problem.
Right.
Well.
Yeah. And children are, it depends on the type of family that you have. We were always very protective of each other. You of me, me of you. You always had your antenna up. I always had mine up because we were always alone.
Team.
So,
One more.
always the team. So, it was a tough time. And then just because of interruptions with having a child, just because there were interruptions, just like you have with the dog. Got to take him to the doctor. Got to take him out. Got to go to
seizure pills. 8 a.m., 8 p.m.
You know what I mean? There's always stuff. You have a huge responsibility when you have a child. I don't care who you are, you do, and it interferes with your work life. It interferes with your social life, and it interferes with family life. It just does. And either you have someone that's willing to work with you and understand that, or there are a lot of men that never had children during my early time of dating.
So it's very new for them.
Oh, it's totally new. And then there's always that, I don't understand why he can't just do this, and why do you have to be there for that? And blah, blah. Well, he's my child. Well, I don't understand that. So, my response was always the same. I'd go, listen, I hate to be rude. I mean, to be honest with you, he's always going to be with me. You, not so much now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm good on this.
It's not going to happen. I don't need the stress. I'm a parent. Either you're in or you're out. We come as a set. I'm sorry. We just, not leaving the kid. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but I know a lot of women that left their children.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I could never even imagine. I'm flawed when that happens. But again, doesn't make them bad people. It makes them honest people. They can't do it. Go. Don't fuck your kid up. That just always amazes me. I'm not judging anyone, but when it comes down to it, your bravery, just be some type of something that a child can look up to if you're a parent. Or just leave them.
Yeah.
Just leave them with somebody who can be raising them respectfully instead of in the lunatic asylum that you have now created.
Yeah, your own internal one with no government funding.
Yeah, I just, it's just, the world is a different place now. It really is.
On the topic of raising children, Nick C., one of my buddies from the Bevs, he had actually asked about how you felt as a parent with me competing in bodybuilding. Those 2 shows that I did.
How did I do, Nick? I was supportive.
How did you really feel?
I didn't like your coach.
Yeah, we've never said his name, so don't say his name.
Nope, I'm not going to.
He's a jerk off, and he doesn't deserve any airtime.
Yeah, and when we went to see him together, I made it very clear that there were certain situations that you preferred not to do.
Steroids, you can say that.
Okay.
Didn't want to do steroids.
Yes.
And I made it very explicitly clear that I personally don't want to do them, and that you don't want them pushed on me.
Exactly. And I thought we made it crystal clear.
Nah, it didn't penetrate that brain.
No.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he treated you and coached you as if you were on steroids, which really...
fucked me up.
Yes. Which really was a problem for me because I was ready to take that ride.
Yep, I know.
But, sometimes it's easier to be silent and just turn the other way.
Well, you live and you learn. And I learned that I never wanted to do that shit ever again. And I was good on it. Yeah. And it was too much, especially going away to college. It was just way too much on my brain. It was too much after that.
Yeah.
But I was very dedicated. No one could tell me anything differently. I was going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. That was hard. I will tell you, though, I was very proud of you. You had been driven. You were totally on your game. You were not being swayed. I really was so proud of you. I mean, right through college. I mean, your friends were falling down and throwing up in the bathroom. How many times did I come up and clean the bathroom?
Yeah, that was fucking gross. Oh my God, that bathroom was so gross.
I know, I cleaned it. Oh, parents' weekend.
But yeah, I had different ambitions and I had different routes.
They were calling you grandpa.
Yeah, but guess what? They knew not to wake grandpa when they came home from the clubs because I'd fucked them up.
Right, exactly.
I wasn't playing that shit.
But again, it's a matter of accountability, and it's a matter of being respectful of people around you. Everybody can do their thing. Just don't push it on someone else, and be respectful of what they are doing. If they don't want to participate, look, I'm telling you, I grew up around pretty drugged up people. I didn't do it. They didn't force it. Mm-hmm. I didn't do it. It was just we were friends, and okay, so give me the keys.
Hey, do your thing. Godspeed.
And I mean that truthfully. I really do.
Enjoy your trip to Pluto.
Exactly.
Have a good one. See you when you come back, Captain.
God. Oh, my God. I'll never forget, we had a party for my boyfriend at the time in high school. He was going away. He was moving away to go to school, college. He was a year older than me. And we had a going away party for him. And there were so many people that were hammered that I had it at a friend of mine and a friend of his home.
Sure, it wasn't at Quinnipiac?
No. This was horrible. I got to be honest with you. This was a horrible situation.
Seems oddly familiar.
Yeah, it's horrible. And it's amazing what some people will do to get attention.
Oh, it seems way even more oddly familiar.
Yeah. So we had an incident in the house. And we had to call the police. Meanwhile, I'm trying to have a nice party for my boyfriend to go away. And one of these girls was having a fight with the boyfriend and cut her wrists in the bathroom.
Yo, crazy.
And knew just how to do it so she didn't die. But wall-to-wall blood.
Oh, God.
And before the parents got home, I'm telling you, my fingers were bleeding from the bleach. I was scrubbing the floor trying to get the blood up. If I tell you, what a disaster. They were drunk, they were stoned, and they were morons.
Doesn't mix well.
And this is why I tell you there's just that line with me. Then I'm done. I'm like, okay, I can't do it. I've just seen too much. I've just seen too much. But she knew exactly how to do it.
And she was fine afterwards. She was.
Oh, yeah, back in school. She got sewed up.
Yeah.
It's amazing if you just do a little pop.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that.
People are crazy. But and we would, how old was I? I was 16, 17. Yeah.
Must look like a scene at a nom.
Oh, you have no idea because I didn't know what was going on. Then I hear all kinds of commotion and I go, what's happening back there? Just, we're in the backyard. I'm like, what's happening? What's going on?
I've never dated any girls that, craved attention, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, boy.
And we're leaving that one there.
Okay. I was a prisoner in my own house.
Yeah, we're leaving that one
in
there.
my room.
We're leaving that one there.
Closing that door.
Yeah, it's okay. We're leaving that one there. Mm-hmm. And then I exit the home, and I'm now on my own, and no one comes over. Just me and Kenji. I thought it was going to be girl paradise. Like, I'd be having girls over all the time. It's going to be fucking crazy.
You did tell me that.
This and that. Oh, yeah, it's going to be nuts. I can't wait. No. I had like 3 girls over when I got my apartment. I was like, God, it's so fucking annoying. I just want to be on my couch by myself.
My favorite was when you said she put her...
Yo, that shit was crazy, okay? Let me tell y'all real quick.
Now, I want to tell you something, though. You never did that in my house.
No, but I did just buy that from Crate and Barrel, and I spent a pretty penny on that coffee table.
And who bought all the stuff in our house?
Listen, different. I realize.
It's different people.
No,
people.
Because I realized, yeah, she came over. Oh, she freaked me out. She came over. Don't spit your coffee out. Don't do it. Why do you take sips when we're telling funny shit? What is up with you? You've been doing that forever. Yeah, there it is.
I was thirsty. I was going to cough.
Actually, choke on it because then Element will owe us money. Oh no! What'd your product do to my mom? So, yeah, he's over here.
Puppy.
Yeah, Kenji.
Go ahead.
Hi, Butchie. So she came over. It was gonna be a little hookup, whatever. She came over. I got sushi, had some sake and some wine ready. And I was trying to just be. I'm trying to be the pimp, man. I'm just trying to be like, yo, this is the pad. This is gonna be the cool spot. Like we got the flat screen TV, 65-inch. We got the new fresh couch and the centerpiece. We got the Crate and Barrel coffee table.
Coffee table.
Yep.
Serious.
And this girl sat Indian style.
And you had these.
Can I even say that anymore? I don't fucking care. She sat.
And you had these.
No, I did.
Had coasters.
I had coasters. She sat Indian style.
On the floor.
No, on my couch.
Oh, with feet.
And she was dipping sushi in the soy sauce and then going like this. Look. And then eating the sushi. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, after the third piece of tuna, I said...
With the gray rug?
I said, sweetheart, you got to use a coaster and you got to bring that soy sauce closer. She put her fucking cups on the thing. I'm going to get rings on there. I just bought this shit. Are you out of your mind? Yeah.
Come back and take a look at my house, you and the dog.
Instantly. Instantly down. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is she's dipping her soy sauce and she's going to get a fucking mess all over the floor.
Outside cat.
Yeah, she was an outside cat. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, she hasn't re-entered the home ever again, so we're good.
Because she's an outside cat.
I know. That's why. I left traps out there and I double bolted the front door. We're good. I don't have to worry about it. Nope. Stay out there.
Stay out there.
Stay out there. Mother said.
No drama. Stay out there, please. So what are we doing now?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't really want you to get into mortgages and shit. It's boring.
It's boring.
And it sucks.
But I will tell you.
You have a
Can I just say, though, going from financial planning from New York Life into the mortgage business, I've been in the mortgage business now 39 years. It's a long time. And I will tell you, it was always a very satisfying career because I always liked to help people. And that's why New York Life was good also, because I always liked to help people. I like to direct them, make sure that they got everything safe and put together well. It's unfortunate that there's been such crazy ups and downs in my industry since 2008. That crash killed us. And then, there's been others since then. So the last 10 years have been even longer, but about the last 10 have been a big roller coaster ride. And my advice to younger people in my industry, which I know a few of your friends are, and stock people, because I know where that is also, same type of mentality. A lot of people get in the business, they make some nice cash on a couple of deals. They work hard for it. It's a very hard industry. It is. You're dealing with people's emotions. It's all personal information. People that you know really kind of, unless they really trust you, do not want you to know their personal information, and don't realize that if a salesman's like me, once you close the loan, you forget all about it. You don't even know what they have anymore. I don't remember anybody's file. I don't. It's like, I just want to get you closed, made you look good, we're good, you're closed. That's it. Next. So my point to younger people in my industry is this: don't be a cowboy. What I mean by that is, you're not in an industry that covers your ass. You do not have residual income. Your next deal is the only deal you have. The last deal paid some bills and put some money in your pocket. So you absolutely must put away 6 to 8 months worth of your bills. Rent, car payment, insurance, everything. 6 to 8 months of your bills must be in the bank at all times. Because when the market falls apart and the closings are way apart.
And it will, and they will.
And it will, and it does, and I don't care. I listen. I look at these best originators in the world. This one's done $7 billion. This one's done $8 billion. God bless you. You must have a team. You must have a lot of people under you. You're getting a piece of everything. You're a manager, or you're this, or you're that. And that's great. And I'm very thankful for everybody in my business that you're helping all of these people with their dreams, which is to buy a house and manage their lives, which is fantastic. It is. And I do commercial stuff too. I do a lot of consulting work, private money, hard money. It all depends on what somebody is. I'm actually a non-producing sales manager at Silver. So there's a lot of stuff that I've done over the years. I did close my own 1 to 4 family company many years ago. After my processor decided to retire. I wanted to kill her, but she was the best processor I ever had. She really was. Julie was the best. And after that, I just sort of wanted to participate a little further in more of a consulting capacity. So I do a lot of stuff, but if you're a loan originator, you really do need to pay attention. Don't be a cowboy like a stockbroker. Oh, I made money. Oh, I made $600,000 this year. Yeah, next year you might make $2. So, you know what I mean? It's
dollars.
$2, exactly.
Not $200,000.
$200.
Yeah.
$20,000, whatever it is.
You can get sushi one day.
Sometimes, and if you're sick and you can't work, you have to really pay attention to the lifestyle you want. And being a single parent, it was an expense, and not to say anything that I would never do it again. I would do everything exactly over again, exactly how I did it.
Listen, Kenji's different than me when I was a baby, but Kenji's expensive. Yes. I say it all the time, too.
Kids are expensive, and I did go through a ton of money. If I had support from your father at certain times, it would have been easier. It wasn't possible. So, and he's not well. So you just don't have it.
This is what it is.
Right. So under the circumstances, that's why my hours were crazy. That's why I always worked till 11, 12, even 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes on clients. I have since not decided to do that anymore. I actually give myself a break. So I'm good at 8, 9 o'clock, but I'm done then.
Still late.
Yeah. If you don't answer the phone, they're going somewhere else.
I get it. It's still too late, though.
I know. But again, it's fine. I'm used to it.
It's okay.
You get used to things. So under the circumstances, that is the only reason why I wanted to bring up the business, is because I would like the younger people to understand that even though you're swinging high right now and you buy your fancy car and you buy your fancy house, and never forget it. I did a mortgage for a kid a long time ago. He was a stockbroker. He suddenly ran into a ton of money. And I said to him, do you really want to do this? He was buying a house in Lloyd Harbor. I think he was 26. I said to him, I bought my first house when I was 21. I said, really think this through. He goes, nah, I'm making tons of money. I'm doing really well. I'm making a lot of money. I'm doing great. I go, oh, okay, well, I just want you to think about it because things can happen. And then it was like my lips to God's ears, and the stock market crashes after the kid closes. And the bank calls me. He was a first pay foreclosure. He never made the first payment on his loan. And of course, I had to give the commission back. So we had to pay the commission back. They had to foreclose on the kid. I actually went to see him and I said, what is going on? He goes, well, it crashed and I lost everything. I lost my accounts. I lost my this. I'm not making anything. I spent all the money on he had no furniture. There was a mattress on the floor. There was no furniture. I said, I told you not to do this. I said, please do me one favor. Please sell the house before they foreclose.
Did he listen to you?
To be honest with you, I don't even know. I was out of it then.
Didn't even matter, so fuck it.
Didn't matter. I had to write my check back. I was like,
Best of luck, bro.
Yeah. I felt bad for the kid. I really did. But big eyes. Big eyes. Don't always think that tomorrow is going to be as bright as today, because everybody has good and bad days. And everybody has sudden responsibilities. It happens. People may need you in your family. A father or a mother could get sick. They may not have enough money. You may have to kick in. I mean, thank God my mother always took care of my dad. It was, my father's bills were huge.
Yeah,
he never got Medicaid or Medicare, whatever it was. He never got it. We applied for it. That was a $10,000 loss. We hired an attorney trying to get him to get this thing, blah, 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 blah. The veteran stuff didn't come out. He didn't get.
Shocker.
Yeah, he didn't get anything. Even the life insurance situation with the veterans is just a joke. But shit happens is the point.
Yes.
So that's all I really want to say about that. As far as the rates, they'll be better again one day. Listen, when I started in the business, the rates were 15.5. And the reason I started in the business is because I bought my house and I got screwed. That was the reason.
So you wanted to help other people?
Yes, they screwed me at the table. Lend more mortgage. And I'm saying it. They were on 106. Bastards. I sat at the table. My rate was 2% higher than they promised it to be, and they charged me 2% more, 2 points. I didn't have enough money to close, and my father wanted to kill me. And I didn't know.
It wasn't your fault.
Oh, my attorney was an idiot. He should have been, in other words, they should have told me this before I got there.
Yep.
So I was using my last dime, and you know what I had to do? I had 3 credit cards. I took cash advances on each one of them to close that loan, or I was going to lose my down payment.
And in hindsight, would you have done the same thing?
I loved my house.
Doesn't matter.
But
take the emotional attachment out of it. Would you have just waited and gotten? Would the advice to your younger self have been find a different mortgage broker?
No, my advice to my younger self would have been, go get an apartment. You're 21 and go have some fun with your friends.
Okay. But you loved your house.
I loved my house. And I couldn't live in my house with my parents anymore because my sister and Charlie moved in.
Yeah, Charlie used to rev the engine.
And he used to rev the engine underneath where my bedroom, when his car, he used to warm up the car. And I was just getting home. I'd be working at New York Life, and then I'd work at the club sometimes, and I'd be just getting up, and he'd be revving the engine. I'd be like, oh, my God, I'm going to kill the man. Charlie, God rest his soul, he passed too, poor guy. He had a tough time.
Yeah. What else you got on that list?
Actually, I didn't have, we really did cover everything. I was going to show you. I mean, seriously speaking, I was just looking at business stuff. I've really been self-employed my whole life. I just thought it would be nice if we went over some stuff. And to tell you the truth, the question I have for you is...
Uh-oh, you got a question for me.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So, being from a single-parent home, what was that like for you?
I didn't know it any other way. So I didn't know it with 2 parents in one house. It wasn't like you guys got divorced when I was 10, 12, 13, 14, 15.
True.
I only knew it as mom's house, dad's house.
Okay, so you could tell me the truth now. Was I a good mom?
You were an amazing mom.
And you better say that.
And I wouldn't trade you for anybody. I wouldn't trade you for any other parent. I wouldn't. It's been a good.
Well, spiritually, you pick your parents.
Yes. So there we go. See, I knew. I knew.
And you did. I will know. I can't tell that story because it's very long.
Should have picked somebody in the Hamptons.
Somebody rich.
In the Hamptons.
Hey.
No, but in all honesty, Listen, I've talked about it a lot on the show. My childhood, I've definitely had some ups and downs, mental, physical battles, whatnot, just dealing with weird situations that I've been put in that other children were never put in my position, in my perspective.
True.
And I've dealt with a nasty family on dad's side and a caring, loving, small family on our side. A father that couldn't really do anything, didn't want to do anything even if he could. He just makes excuses constantly, even to this day. So, it's just it's more of like this was my journey to navigate, and I could have turned out pretty bad. I really could have. I could have turned out pretty bad. So
I know.
I'm pretty happy that even through all the trials over the years, I've always kept my head calm to some extent. I've definitely had my outbursts, but it was never violent or anything like that. It was always, we get stressed and you bottle it up too much, and unfortunately, sometimes it explodes. But at the same time, I think a lot of my earlier teens, middle teens, there was a lot of irritation because of the confusion of having to go to dad's and no structure over there, then coming back to you and it was all structure and all schoolwork. And I think that preyed on my mind, and I was very anxious when I used to come home. You used to say, it used to take me 2 days, 3 days to get back to base level. So I believe that, a lot of those things. And there were some good things that dad did. There were some good things that I can't shit on the man completely, like there was sushi nights whenever I'd go to his house to spend the weekend. Loved those. We always had fun with that. We bonded over that. We're very different human beings, Dad and I. Just very different. And I don't think it's just because I grew up with you and Grandpa. I believe it's because we're just born and genetically exceptionally different.
Yeah.
Different people, way different brains. And
he was very different when
But regardless, though, it doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter what the situation was. I see it at face value for what Dad has been to me my entire 32 years on this planet. True. So to me, we're just very different, and we don't have a lot in common. We just don't. I've said that to him multiple times when I have nothing else to say, and I'm just like, I got nothing to say to you, Dad. Like, I'm trying to have some common ground to try to get us to have some fun and some similar. And you just don't care. Like, you don't care, and it's cool, man. Just like, I'm just trying to be a good son and call you and do that. But that's not what this is. This isn't a therapy session. This is you deal with your lumps, and either you sit there and you go, why, or you go, it's just how the dude is. It is what it is. That's how he is.
Right.
And you have to use your brain and go, okay, well, it's time for me to understand that and just move forward at all times. And if he's acting like a dick, don't hit him up. Like that's it.
That's it.
So I believe that a lot of my earlier teens to middle teens problems, though, the confusion, like I had said, but mostly was the weight. The weight was a huge problem. And the weight came because of stress eating. It came because you were so structured with health food and whatnot that I'd go to his house or I'd go to friends' houses and I would just fucking gorge. I would eat all the snacks and I wasn't exercising. And the weight just packed until I was ready to pop by 10th grade.
I know.
So I think that was a huge problem. And that started me on the path to, physical fitness, understanding things. And it was a slow path at first, but
well, that double gym class is what started
double gym class helped me. And then I dropped the weight, but then
and handball happened.
Yep. And then I gained it back over the last 3.5-4 years with my first girlfriend. And then it was the bodybuilding show in Connecticut. So I started bodybuilding right when I went away to college, and then it was over the course of after college.
Well, your system was all screwed up too.
But I was just all over the place. So now I've said a lot of times, I couldn't be further out of the fitness industry. I really couldn't. Mentally, I just couldn't be further out. I love my people that are in it. I love the people that I fucks with and I support. Kareth, E-Banks, Andre, all my
I love those guys.
Terrence Ruffin. Like I love all my people. I really do. But I love my people. So sometimes I get asked about other people that I have no idea who they are. So and it's because I'm not following the sport anymore. Right. I'm at a different point in my life now. I started the videos and the podcast and whatnot, and I was deep into the bodybuilding. My brain has pivoted as of the last 2 years, year and a half.
Well, who started you?
What do you mean?
Who started you in the video stuff? What was your first? Right, wasn't it?
Dad. What do you mean?
Sean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought Dad bought me my first camera. I thought you were saying.
No.
Yeah. Sean was my first video. Sean Harris, rest in peace. It was just his birthday recently. And then after that, it was just getting new clients and this and that. But I've had epiphanies and eye-opening awakeness now, and it's just
a change of journey.
That's what I'm saying, and I've had my brain has changed and pivoted to different passions.
That's what happens.
Yes.
Look at all my jobs.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is what is going on, and I'm okay with it. Now I'm in the jiu-jitsu stuff. Now I'm in the fight stuff. I'm going to fights. I'm going to support those guys. I want to be functional. I want to do sandbag training. I want to do kettlebell training. Like, these are things that I know that translate to jiu-jitsu and translate to actual strength versus just sitting in the gym for an hour and a half hitting my arms. I can't do
you remember
it
going to boxing with me?
Very little bit. Very little bit.
We went over by...
Syosset, right?
On 110.
Well, there was a Syosset one. What's the one on 110?
The one on 110 was Powerhouse?
Oh, yes, that's right. It was in the back. And all the meatheads. They
closed that place.
Yeah. But that was the spot. Sean Harris used to train there before he went to Bev's.
And that's where we started, you and I, with the boxing.
I'm pretty sure it was a steroid den over there,
because
too.
I was doing the boxing. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was fucking steroid den.
That's why they shut him down. But
I don't know if it was a Powerhouse. I think it was a different gym. It was a different gym. Infinity.
Was it Infinity?
Yeah. Later on, it was called Infinity, but I forget what it was originally called.
Isn't it where Susan goes now? What's it called now?
No idea where Susan goes.
Just right by...
No, Push. She goes to Push. No, Push is different. Push is a little closer.
No, it's right behind Refuge is where that was.
Yeah.
That's where we used to go.
Yep.
But that's when I brought you to boxing.
Yeah.
Because I wanted you to start to get in shape. Yeah. But I did, when you were small, you did all the karate. What was
Kung Fu.
The Kung Fu over in Westbury.
Well, don't tell Matt Serra, because I used to tell people that I went to his gym after I went there for that one introductory class.
You did go once.
One class.
I know.
I think I rolled with his brother.
Oh, my God.
I rolled with his brother. I went one class, and then I never went back, but I told people, I trained jiu-jitsu. All right, bro.
Liar.
Yeah, liar. Yeah, you're lucky.
You're a liar.
You're very lucky nobody took you down, bro. You would have been
But
fucked.
I was doing kickboxing in your Kung Fu studio, and we were doing that for years.
Yeah. So listen, we've done things. We've pivoted. We've done.
Those were my best kickboxing classes, by the way.
Sure.
They were great. That was Master. What's his name?
Sihing Sifu.
Sihing.
Yeah.
Sihing and Sifu, right? But what was his name?
No idea. I was a little ass kid.
P started with a P.
Master Pee. No. Hopefully he was only given kickboxing
His name
lessons.
started P. His name started with a P.
Put that thing away, son. I want to hit the bag, not those balls. I think on that note, we're going to end. But I love you, Mom. I appreciate you.
I love you, too.
This was great. We're going to do another. Thank you. We're going to do another episode. We'll sooner than later. We'll have
Just remember, you picked your parents. I didn't even tell the story about you're not my real mom.
I already told it.
Oh, did you?
I told it to all. Yeah, so we're good. So they know about it. So you're not my real Karen.
Oh my God. You're not my real mom.
But once again, I love you.
I remember.
Episode 72. And what do they add up to?
A 9.
Yeah, we have to do a feng shui episode.
Oh, I would love to.
So let's do that next. Let's do a feng shui episode.
Yeah.
Your background in that.
Graduate. Oh, I forgot. That's right. Chinese. Yep. I went for that Asian feng shui classes, and I graduated in 96. That's
what I'm saying.
Before anybody even knew what feng shui was.
Yep.
Those were great classes.
Pioneer. So let's do that. Let's do a feng shui episode. Give them like maybe it could be a 30-minute episode. It doesn't have to be long. Just be like a top 10.
I'll do your cards.
Yeah, we could do cards too. I know some of the girls would love that. So
I'll do your cards.
Do the cards on camera for a live podcast. That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
I'll do them.
On that note, Mother, I will say it a
Thank
third
you, everybody.
time.
Thank you, Nicholas Salvatore Anthony.
Rizzo.
There
you go. That's all you got to say.
I know. I'm not adding.
No, don't add anything.
I'm hungry. Let's go have dinner.
Yeah, let's go get pizza or something. Oh.
Pizza. Yeah. Got to call Arthur.
Episode 72. I appreciate all you guys. Please keep sharing the episodes. Please make sure that you subscribe, leave comments. Show some love for my mom. She came through and she was a stellar guest, as I knew she would be.
Thank
Great
you
conversation.
for inviting me.
Great conversation, good fun. And on that note, peace.